Zoe on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My ex-husband kidnapped my daughters.
I did not kidnap my daughters. They ran away.
You said your life would be better if she was dead.
Oh, she was gone forever, yeah. Definitely.
She claims he's brainwashing their girls against her.
She's a drunk. She is nuts. I don't quite consider her a woman anymore.
You do admit that you emotionally and verbally abuse her.
I do.
Well, you've done it since you've been out here. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. This is Robin, a divorced mother of 14-year-old Danny and 12-year-old Zoe, who claims the two young girls were kidnapped this summer, lured from their home by their own father. Now, Robin says her ex brainwashed the two girls, but he says he didn't have to convince the girls to leave with him. He says they hate their mother and wanted to run away. Take a look.
It's the worst custody battle I've ever heard of. An over-possessive, slightly disabled mother tries to turn her children against the father. In the end, now 14 and 12 years old, the kids have decided that there's something wrong with mom and they don't want anything to do with her anymore. They actively run away and hide from her, and they're with me.
Well, Robin is livid because she claims neither lawyers nor courts, not even the police, will do anything to help her rights as the primary custodial mother.
Even though I have full legal custody of our girls, my ex-husband Daniel and I have fought over their custody for years.
We've been in our court so many times, I couldn't even begin to count. I'd take a guess, I'd say 30.
Our custody battle is completely out of control. A few months ago, when my girls were staying with their dad, my daughter Zoe called me and said she didn't want to exist. I could hear Daniel yelling at her, using profanity. When I arrived at Daniel's house, he refused to let me take the kids home. I was furious.
Robin is an unfit mother. Robin neglects the children. When they're their moms, I've had safety concerns, cuts on their legs from swords, been gun fears, suicidal boyfriends. It just goes on and on.
I got a court order that our daughters be returned to my home.
My oldest daughter, Danny, was so upset, she actually told the police that she'd rather go to a foster home and that she won't stay with her mom and that she will run away.
The girls weren't even home for 24 hours. My ex-husband, Daniel, kidnapped my daughters in the middle of the night.
I did not kidnap my daughters. My girls were forced to go back to their moms, and 11 hours later, they ran away.
Daniel Facebooked my daughter, Danny, and told her to run away.
Once the police removed the kids, I realized quickly that the children were going to run away. I was concerned for their safety. If they're going to run away, they have to get to a phone and call me immediately or call the police. It was 2 in the morning. I get a phone call. It was my daughter telling me they're somewhere near their mom's house.
I haven't seen either of my daughters in over a month. My fear is that Daniel has kidnapped my daughters and I will never see them again.
Despite the court order, and if it is breaking the law, my kids' safety is more important to me.
A mother's worst nightmare has come true and I just don't know what to do. My daughters mean everything to me. That's all that I wanted was my kids. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that, okay?
Okay, Robin, you want these children back.
Yes, I want my children back.
And you currently have physical custody.
Yes, I have full physical and legal custody.
Okay, so you are what's known as the residential parent here. So
yes,
they
I
are
am.
to reside with you.
Yes.
So you guys have gone through the courts, gotten a divorce. The court has issued a ruling that says the children are to reside with you and have visitation from their father.
Yes.
Okay. So why are they not with you then?
Because he kidnapped them last March, and then he he wouldn't give them back, and I had to go get another. Cops wouldn't help me, even though my court order says mandatory enforcement, forcibly remove the kids. I had to go back to court. The judge ordered them to be forcibly removed and returned to me again,
Okay,
which they did.
What happened?
He got on Facebook and talked Danny into running away and told her not to forget Zoe. They waited till I was asleep. And when I got up, they were gone.
Okay, so here's an excerpt from Daniel and Danny's Facebook messages. Is this what you're talking about here? Danny, Robin came and got the cops again. This is why I wish I could drive. I could, like, become a runaway. Daniel responds, this is nothing, honey. I spent hours with the attorney, and this was a one-time order to pick you up. You can walk out with Zoe anytime and tell me what corner you're on, and I'll come pick you up. Example, I'm on the corner of Street and Street. Then I know exactly where you are, and I will be there in 25 minutes. Don't forget Zoe.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's an actual street. That wasn't like a hypothetical.
No, he knew exactly where he was sending him.
Okay, that was an actual street. Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you talked to him about this?
No, we do not have contact.
Why not?
Because he's extremely, extremely abusive, and you cannot have a conversation with this man if you're like, hey, Dan, why are you doing this? All of a sudden, I just get to hear I'm crazy, I deserve this, you did this, and you did this, and you did this. And I did none of this stuff. He makes it all up, and he tells my kids this, and he's brainwashing them to hate me. Ever since I left him, 13 years ago, he's been telling them what a horrible mother I am. Everything I do is wrong. The fact that I like to wash their laundry and make sure they have clean clothes for school, that's bad because I'm materialistic. The fact that I like to have them a nice house to live in, I'm just a materialistic, horrible, horrible mother. The fact that I keep my refrigerator stocked up with food, all I care about is money. I don't care anything about them. Well, all my money is going on them. That's what you do as a parent. These aren't bad things. These are what parents do.
You say that he tells the girls that your family are all alcoholics.
Yes.
Is that true?
No, there are members of my family that are alcoholics, but I don't hang around those ones.
And you're concerned about what's happening with the girls when they're with him?
Yes, I'm scared for their safety. I know exactly why he sold them at this particular age in their life.
What do you mean?
He was severely molested at this age in his life, and now it's a perfect time to get me out of their life so he can have as much fun. If he could break down their boundaries and they have nobody to run to, he can do whatever he wants. My daughters are beautiful. That's what he thinks women look like, and he has always said that's the perfect body. No, that's a little kid's body. That's not a body that you should be looking at in a sexual way. It's sick.
So you're afraid that he may have inappropriate designs on the children?
Yes, and the more I think about it, he might have already done something.
You don't know that?
I don't know. I just know that
that's a very serious allegation.
Yes,
you're not making the allegation.
No.
You're saying that's a concern you have.
That is a concern.
You say that you believe that he has showed them inappropriate videos.
Yes, horrific pornographic videos.
And how do you know this?
Because my daughter came home on Christmas crying. She told me what the video was. She called 911 to have a safety check on her sister because she was so concerned.
What was on this video?
It was pornographic, something horrible, horrible, and he was trying to convince them it was me.
So he was trying to convince them that in this video that he was showing them,
with me,
that this was you in the video doing these pornographic acts.
Yes.
And she was saying, that's not my mother.
That's not my mom. I know what my mom looks like.
But in order for her to make that judgment, she had to be looking at this tape.
Correct.
And this tape was very out there.
The worst thing I've even heard of.
I mean, we're talking bestiality here. This
that's
was
exactly what we're talking of.
Okay. How long were you married to this man?
2 weeks. I had to come home right away and divorce him because he beat me up on my honeymoon.
He beat you up on your honeymoon. So, okay. Now, you were married to him for 2 weeks, but yet you have 2 children.
Yeah, I'm not very smart. What happened is I went home and I divorced him. Everything went through. And
do you have a child when you got married?
No.
Were you pregnant when you got married?
Well, apparently I got pregnant on the honeymoon because when I came back and got divorced, I found out I was pregnant.
Okay, so that's when you had your first child.
Yes.
Okay, so I get that. surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
But you then got pregnant with a man that you say beat you up on your honeymoon.
Yes.
You're gonna have to tell me how that logic went down.
It is. So I find out I'm pregnant, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Now I have to make it work with their father because they need a father, right? And of course...
There's not they, there's just one now.
Well, at this point, yes. And, you know, I didn't have a father growing up, so they're very important to me, and he always tells me why he beats me. So I thought if I acted better, he would quit beating me and I could make this stop. But you can't make it stop because I wasn't doing anything wrong.
So your thought was, I'll behave better.
Yes.
And he'll quit beating me.
And then we could raise our child.
And somewhere along in there, you decided to have another one.
No, that was an accident, too.
It was an accident.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it.
Okay.
I didn't even know I was pregnant till the day I left him. I just decided that's the last beating I've ever taken. I walked out of there, and I went to Women's Crisis, and they said, are you pregnant? And I said, well, probably, because that would just make things so much worse. So, of course, I was.
What do you mean it's an accident? You know how this works, right?
Yes, I do. Maybe not. I've been pregnant 11 times. I'm not good at birth control. But I was trying birth control. This is my first experience with birth control. And I was switching from the shot to a different kind because it wasn't working. And voila, baby.
Okay. The last time Robin saw her ex-husband, she says, was in March of this year.
Yes.
They will come face to face when Daniel joins next. We'll be right back.
I firmly believe Dan has brainwashed our daughters into hating me.
Robin has always bashed me behind my back.
He tells the girls that I'm a crazy psychopath all the time.
She is nuts.
The girls need to know the truth, that I'm the sane one, and their father, Daniel, is the crazy one.
And later...
That's my oldest daughter flipping her mom off.
You seem to take great pride in that.
For them to stand up to this beast you see in front of you, yeah, I'm very, very proud of them.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexics and bulimic.
Two beautiful sisters.
He's called them a vagabond skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
Daniel is completely reckless with our children. They're in constant danger, that he would like that our daughters to experiment with drugs in a safe manner at the house with him because children are going to do it anyway, and he felt that was the safest way.
Robin is such an unfit parent that her own children have filed police reports against her. When they're their moms, I've had safety concerns, cuts on their legs from swords, been gun fears, suicidal boyfriends. It just goes on and on.
The bottom line is he's a bad, evil person.
Robin may think that I'm a bad, evil guy, but I don't think about her at all. I've given up on her.
Daniel says he has been battling with his ex-wife Robin in courts for years to get custody of their two daughters. Now, Daniel claims Robin's home is unsafe because she has a problem with alcohol and constantly dates abusive men. So what did Daniel do? Well, Robin claims he convinced their daughters to leave their home and meet him on the corner with nothing but the clothes on their back. Robin considers that he is brainwashing these children and, in fact, has kidnapped them. Take a look.
Robin's been saying that I brainwashed my daughters.
I firmly believe Dan has brainwashed our daughters into hating me. He has made me out to be some sort of monster and turned the girls against me.
I love my daughters, and that is not brainwashing. Loving your children is not brainwashing. Robin has always bashed me behind my back.
Daniel has my girls convinced that they have suffered horrendous beatings and abuse from my ex-husband. It's not true. It's all complete lies. Daniel tries to paint me and my entire family like we're just crazy. He tells the girls that I'm a crazy psychopath all the time.
She is nuts. Robin needs to just face the fact that all the wicked things she has done to try and hurt me and to separate me from the only thing in the world that I love is now backfired. And she's dealing with the consequences, and she's going to have to deal with it for the rest of her life.
The girls need to know the truth, that I'm the sane one, and their father, Daniel, is the crazy one.
Okay, Daniel, you've been listening to the show so far,
yeah.
right? I've given her a chance to speak. I want to give you the chance to do the same thing. What do you say? Is there anything in particular that she said that you want to respond to?
Oh, yeah. Well, when it started about the worst custody battle you could ever imagine in the history of modern society, that's all true. Everything else she said is a complete, blatant lie. She's mentally disabled. She's on medication.
Who are you? Who are you talking to?
Everybody that
Talk to me.
Heard that nonsense. It's all complete.
That's a lie,
insanity.
Daniel. I am not on any medications.
This type.
No, wait a minute. Now, you let I let you speak. Now let him speak. Go ahead.
The fantasies that you just heard come from somebody that's mentally unstable and has been doing the things that she describes are what's been happening to her with the recent boyfriends she's had from prior marriage. She had 3 kids when I met her already.
How many boyfriends? How many boyfriends have I had, Dan? Name them. In 13 years, I've dated 5 people.
I actually brought reports of police reports.
If you're domestic violence, Daniel, why did you beat me up on my honeymoon? Why did you beat me when I was pregnant?
Okay, hold on. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead.
So, just for the audience's sake, and for people that want to judge me by what she says, I've never laid a harmful hand on a woman in my life. I'm a black belt in the martial arts in several forms.
Hold on. I'll let you respond in a minute.
And if half of what she said is true, I would be in prison for life. If half of it, that was insane. Now, I have battled allegations of me kicking her in the back, and there's a little quarter-shaped bruise in her back. It was 4 days after I dropped the kids off, 4 days after, this fresh quarter-sized bruise, exactly the size of the seesaw that she leaves in the backyard with no supervision, 4-year-old girl and 6-year-old girl, and somebody slammed her in the back, and guess what? I have to convince CPS that I wasn't nowhere found. And every single time she does this, it's always dropped. I'm always found innocent. But I lose 30 days. I lose 2 weeks of visitation. I had to do 2 weeks supervised visits. And every lie that she did, I have defeated for years. I have defeated every single thing she has done. And you know what happened? The kids see what's going on. They've been watching her for 14 years. Everything she said to you. These kids have lived with it, and then they only have me on the weekends, and then 1 week, alternating weeks during the summertime. And she wants to tell you that I'm the one that has shaped them, and that I am the one who has somehow brainwashed them, when she has had them exclusively up until the age of about 10. It's only been the last 4 years when my children can talk to the police, can write police reports and orders, and then the truth starts to come out. And guess what? They started running away. And my oldest started running away when she was 10 years old. She's not telling you that. And then lastly, she hasn't seen these kids since May of 2015. Not this year. They've been living with me exclusively since last year, Mother's Day. She kicked them out.
Okay, hold on.
And they're here to testify.
Here, talk to me. Talk to me. Do you breathe through your ears? You got to take a breath sometime here. She says that you have beaten her physically on a regular basis.
I have
so
never
you have
laid
the opportunity to respond
on a woman in my life, including her, even though I don't quite consider her a woman anymore.
And later, have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
She's filed 8 against me.
Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
Not that I know of, okay?
Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. She says that you, across a period of time, have beaten her physically on a regular basis. I want to give you the opportunity to clear that up. Are you saying that is absolutely not true?
Completely fictitious. Wouldn't you, I know they asked me, do we have any evidence? Do you have any evidence of something? Like I say, my daughter ran away when she was 10. I brought evidence of that. I bought a police report. Show us one police report. If a man lays a hand on you and you have one bruise, show us the police report. Show us the
I'm
facts.
asking you.
I have
So
never
you have
laid
the
a
opportunity
harmful
to
handle
respond
on a
to
woman
that.
in my life.
So I'm not asking about any other women. I'm just asking about this one. You've not beaten your wife.
Including her, even though I don't quite consider her a woman anymore. But.
Okay. All right. Now, so you're saying that she is not telling the truth, that you have never hit her, beaten her, abused her physically in any way?
In any way at all.
Okay.
Never. Ever,
now,
ever.
You do admit that you emotionally and verbally abuse her.
I do.
Well, you've done it since you've been out here.
How do you respond to what she just said?
Well, you're saying she's not even a woman. You said she's crazy. Those are abusive things to say to anyone.
Sexually molest my children. What do you call someone?
No, actually, she didn't say that.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't say that. This is on tape, and I can play it back. In fact, on your behalf, I was very careful and clarified. Are you accusing him of that, or are you saying you are concerned that that could happen? I made clear that she was not making that accusation against you because I didn't want you to have to deal with that.
Okay.
So on your behalf, I clarified that for you.
Well, then maybe I mistook it as like, because I did have to fight CPS. As soon as we got back, guess who's at my house?
Well,
Child Protective Services. And they mentioned something about pornography. You know what I did? I threw my hands up. I said, you got to talk to the kids because I don't know anything about this.
Daniel, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm trained as a forensic psychologist. I've worked as an officer of the court in custody proceedings. So I listen to what is said very carefully. I also hear what isn't said. I hear how things are said. And so I very carefully clarified, was she making an accusation or was she expressing a concern? She expressed a concern and did not make an allegation. So I want to be very clear about that. It is correct, right?
That's correct.
You're not accusing him of molesting your children.
No.
You're saying that you have a concern.
But that's a lie.
I have a concern.
She did make the allegation. I did have to deal with Child Protective Services.
I never
Ask
have.
my children.
She didn't make the allegation here to me.
They're here to tell you.
She did make the allegation here to me.
Okay, but I did have to deal with Child Protective Services about this.
You're
this
saying that you don't, that she's shaping these children, you're not shaping these children.
The prior years, until they developed a voice, until they could stand up to their mother, she tried to turn them against him. She moved 19 times. She tried to hide them from me.
You are
She's
such a
always
liar.
been insanely jealous. Whenever I'd have the kids for a weekend, and I'd take them back, they cry.
Well,
they
here's a
cry
comment
when they go to mom's.
Here's
so
a comment that you made on. Here's a comment that you made on Robin's Facebook page, Daniel. Oh my God, what is that hideous beast between my two beautiful girls?
Yes. That was the night
I never knew a mother could be so heartless and cold to their own children. Take a clue, Robin. They don't want to live with you because you're a terrible mother.
You notice the finger dubbed out there on that screen? That's my oldest daughter flipping her mom off.
Hey, do me a favor. Talk to me. This is not an election and they don't vote.
I've done a lot of court. You see the middle finger there has been dubbed out. My daughter's flipping. She pulled that down as soon as she realized the family photo. Zoe knew she was flipping her off. My youngest knew she was looking at the phone. She knew Danny was flipping her mom off, and she took the picture anyway. That's what you're really seeing there.
Okay, you seem to take great pride in that.
No, you know what I'm proud of? I'm proud that my kids have finally stood up against all these lies, this wickedness.
But you seem to take great pride in that your daughter is flipping off their mother.
For them to stand up to this beast you see in front of you, yeah, I'm very, very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you think that's appropriate behavior for a 14-year-old with her mother?
She sits in her house drunk every day. That's what she does. That's her life. She collects welfare, and if she does get a boyfriend that has a job, it's a 12-pack each every day.
How do you know what I do in my house? You don't go in my house.
You know what?
You're not allowed to be in my house.
6 years on the reservation. You know how many cans are just stacked out?
None. My house is always clean.
It's a whole 50-gallon barrel full of cans. They don't recycle like they do in Oregon there. They just pile up. And so...
Collecting evidence, didn't take a picture.
See, the beauty is, the kids are here to tell the truth.
To tell them
and that's what she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that now I'm not alone anymore. She can't just make up stories. And because you can now ask the ones that lived with her for 14 years.
Oh, I'm stacking up a lot of evidence from both of you every time you open your mouths. There's lots of... We're going to take a break, and I am going to speak with Daniel and Robin's daughters a little bit later. But first, when we come back, we're going to find out why Daniel claims Robin is so dangerous that he had to take their children to the police station so they can report their own mother's bad behavior. We'll be right back.
Danny leaps out of the car, runs into the police station screaming, "My mom's trying to take us, it's my dad's time."
You're such a liar, this never happened.
My daughter was 10 years old when she started running away from her mom.
Some of the things that Daniel has done to make my girls think I'm a horrible person are completely unthinkable. Daniel has shown the girls incredibly horrific, graphic, pornographic videos. To make matters even worse, he tried to convince the girls that the video was of me. The girls didn't buy it. It just demonstrates that the girl's father is sick and dangerous. In my mind, what Daniel is doing is beyond abuse. My fear is Daniel is baiting our daughters, and his real intention is to sexually abuse them.
Child Protective Services shows up and takes my kids in a back room and inquires, and the case is immediately closed, found completely fraudulent. Robin has even accused some of my family members of inappropriate activity. I hear crazy stuff. Robin says I'm a bad parent. You have to consider the source. Everything she says is a lie.
Well, Robin is convinced that her ex, Daniel, has kidnapped her children because he's now sexually interested in them. I asked her if she thought that he had molested them. She said no. She's just concerned about it. Robin says she believes it's no coincidence that Daniel has encouraged her 12 and 14-year-old daughters to run away now that they have hit puberty. That's a very difficult thing for you to respond to, because how do you prove something in the negative?
Okay, first of all, back in 2012, my oldest was 10 years old when she took the kids to hide them from me. But I found them. I went there and I made myself an available parent.
I can't hide them.
Can I finish?
Maybe.
Anyway, she was not letting me have visitations.
Never once. It never happened once.
I brought the police report.
The only people...
She was trying to hide them from me. Danny leaps out of the car. When Robin's trying to drive away, my oldest jumps out of the car, runs into the police station screaming, "My mom's trying to take us, it's my dad's time."
You're such a liar, this never happened.
My daughter writes a police report. Actually, I brought several police reports. She was 10 years old when she started running away from her mom.
She's never ran away before, that's a lie. Never.
And they tell her she's a drunk, and they tell her that they're tired of seeing, that they're embarrassed of her, that they want to go to school programs, but she's too drunk to drive them. They can't do any school activities. They can't do, honor roll stuff. They can't do sports. They can't do anything because she's drunk all the time, and that's why they come to me. So I start driving them. When they get off the bus, they come to my house after school, and I drive them where they're going, and that's when she starts getting crazy. She gets insanely jealous, but I brought a police report when my daughter was 10 years old and jumped out of a moving car to get away from her mom.
Well, here's the police report that you're referring to. At approximately 8:07 p.m., I'm taking the patrolman's name out, for blank police department, was dispatched to speak with Daniel regarding a child custody issue involving his two daughters. He advised it was his weekend to have the daughters, and when he attempted to drop off the two girls at their mother's residence where there was no answer at the door, Daniel advised Robin called him about the whereabouts of the two girls. Daniel said he could tell Robin had been drinking based on how she had been talking. Daniel informed me he understood the court-ordered paperwork states Robin is supposed to have the kids, but he didn't feel right making them go over to the residence where they were scared of the violence. Now, this is referring to you're not wanting them to be around this drinking you're talking about all the time.
Yeah, this is not the one.
No, I understand. I'm talking about the drinking.
Okay.
This is you're saying you don't want them to be around the drinking.
Yeah, the police refuse to take them to her. They won't help her anymore. She's a drunk. Nobody will help her. The judge won't help her. The police won't help her.
I've won every court
They
case.
won't even give her a
Everyone.
restraining order. She tries to fill out these allegations. They decline them again and again. I brought all those too.
yours.
I've got 13 restraining orders I submitted
On
that
me
they're
or
not
other
going to
women?
present because nobody believes her anymore.
Really?
Nobody. Okay. But that was
How
not the
many
document.
other women
that I
have
was-
to have restraining orders on you, Dan? How many other? I know of 3 right now. Women.
All members of your family.
None of my family.
Yeah.
If it
And
was,
she- and
if it
she's
was such a
confusing.
chaotic situation, why'd you marry her?
I'm the. Oh. Can I be really frank? I mean, a PG frank?
I don't know.
I had a chance to be a hero, man.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexics and bulimic.
2 beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
You struggled in this horrific situation, so why'd you marry her?
I heard her struggling. You did the same thing to her about the childbirth. I have never had, can I be really frank? I mean, a PG frank?
I don't know.
At this time, I was such a hero. I was doing a demonstration in judo, and the next thing I knew, the class doubled in size. It was her and her sister, and each of them had a whole litter. I mean, a litter of puppies, you know. The class doubled in size, and they're both competing for my affections. This went on for like
Really?
6 months.
Because we don't even like
before
you.
I even realized what was going on. And anyway, she needed a place to stay. She had been drug out by her hair. Her car tire was shot out. Her mom had put a gun to her head. Her kids were stolen.
We've been over all that. I'm just
She's a
asking why
cute
you married
woman
her.
in distress, and I had a chance to be a hero, man. That's what it was about. I was the,
thought it was a hideous
white, the
beast,
knight in
exactly.
shining armor, man.
What is it? Hideous
And
beast?
then there was a whole bunch of, you know, she was a good-looking young lady who needed help.
Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
She's filed 8 against me.
Have you had restraining orders
Not to my
filed against
recollection,
you
no.
by
You're
other
such
women?
a liar.
Are you talking about? Oh, I can't say names. All the people in your house.
Nobody related
They're not
to me.
They're not my people.
No.
They're people
Nobody
I don't even
related
know.
to. My family has never got a
What she-
restraining order. They're not afraid of you.
Excuse me. Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
No. No. Not that I know of, okay? I mean,
They serve you, you know.
I mean, does it mean if they file something it gets rejected because I haven't been served, okay? I haven't been, the only
were
one
served.
is
They were
Robin.
Nope.
8. I lost count at 8.
Quit beating me up. How many times do I have to make you stop?
And on not a single one was there ever police contact, was there ever any evidence, and they were all dropped. Every single one.
So
of
there
them.
have been restraining orders filed
No, they
against you.
haven't been dropped. No.
All her. 8 restraining orders from her.
No.
From this woman sitting right here. No, I have no recollection. I have no idea what you're talking
When
about.
we did the pre-interview with you, you said that you wished she would be dead.
No, that's not what I said. They tried to get me to say that. Was that you? Because that infuriated me. Here's what I said. My daughter now, and wait till you meet her and you talk to her, the rage and the anger that she has fostered by trying to convince them how rotten I am. When they have me every weekend, they know how loving I am.
So what did
now
you say?
has spawned this really angry 14-year-old that makes that comment, and maybe somebody got their wires crossed. And let me tell you something, no parent who loves their child would want their child to have a parent die. My 12-year-old would be devastated. So that's the stupidest thing in the world. What I will say, and what I have said, and what I do believe, that if something horrible was to happen to her, because it was asked of me, if something happened to Robin, our lives would certainly get much easier. My whole family,
Of course you'd have
my
access to my
children would.
daughters.
The only thing is Zoe would still be sad. Danny would be sadder than she thinks, but she doesn't know it. She says,
Really? She said, I remember I love you on the few hours I had her home. She said,
We'll see. We'll see what she said. It'll all be here. We'll see what she said.
So
you're
you
gonna take
didn't-
her word for it, then you're just being deceived. You're just
So
hearing-
you didn't say that?
I said the way I said it. Here, what I said, when they asked me, you know, well, how would you feel if Robin wasn't out of the picture anymore? Oh, God, what a relief that would be. You know, because how do you defend something that never occurred? When they come off and say, you know, he went to Mars and pulled his pants off and raped an alien, you know, what am I supposed to say? I did not. You know, how can you prove something that doesn't even exist? How can you defend against something that is just a dream?
I'm just trying to figure out
So
whether you did or didn't say whether you did or I'm just trying to figure out whether you did or didn't say that things would be better if she was dead.
Be exact again, be precise.
We record our pre-interviews. Here's what you said. Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445 or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. I'm just trying to figure out whether you did or didn't say that things would be better if she was dead.
My daughter has been, I've been having to defend
That's not an
Robin.
essay question.
No, what I would say is, if something and I remember I talked with one of your people, if something happened to her and we never saw her again, our lives would be a lot better. And that includes the girls, okay? They don't have to deal with cops waking them up in the middle of the night, dragging them out of the house.
That has never happened.
It's been happening for 14 years. It's been
I'm just trying to get an answer to a simple question. It's whether or not you said if your children's mother passed away, things would be better. Because that, to me, is significant. If
it would absolutely, we would immediately be a huge sigh of relief as far as the older people. Zoe would be devastated. She would be devastated because she still thinks Mom can be saved. She still thinks.
So you did say that?
I didn't say I wish she was dead. No. No, I did not say that. No. Be exact again. Be precise. Because I didn't say I wish she was dead. That's my daughter.
Well, you said your life would be better if she was dead.
If she was gone forever, yeah. Yeah, definitely. When you suffer as much as I've spent 6 months on the ground in the fetal position. In the fetal position crying, okay, because she yanked the children from me. And I fought tooth and nail. I spent over $50,000 in these battles.
All right, actually.
And you don't miss people that put you through that. You don't miss them, man.
I gave you
actually, we record our pre-interviews. Here's what you said.
Between you and me, if you passed away, my life would be better. You know what I mean? No tears here.
Yep. That doesn't mean I wish she's dead.
Your children's mother. Your children's mother.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to hold to that. You guys, you don't know. You don't know what it feels like when your children are taken from you at 3 months old. The only reason I have my kids is I got paperwork filed. I am the petitioner for custody at 3 months old with my firstborn child. I didn't see my baby for 6 months until the court made her come back. I have a picture of a 2-day visit in 6 months where my baby was taken by this demon right here sitting in front of you, okay? And you know what? I fought you, and I'm still standing. I'm still here. And these kids, they love me, and they will always love me.
So is there any basis to Daniel's concerns here? Is there any basis to Daniel's concerns here? We'll talk about that when we come back. you have a drinking problem?
I went to treatment, and he harassed me on a daily basis.
I wish you never got out.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexics and bulimic.
Two beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's Wednesday.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, we're out of time today. We've heard a lot of serious allegations and name-calling, especially from Robin, who claims Daniel brainwashed their daughters. So what's really going on here? Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it all during tomorrow's shocking conclusion, where we hear new explosive accusations from Daniel about Robin and the man he claims she allowed within inches of her daughters. Also, we'll hear from their daughters, Danny and Zoe. Their father told us how he claims they feel. But what do they really say? Did they run away, or were they really kidnapped by Daniel?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Daniel's facing contempt charges for kidnapping our daughters.
They ran away. How in the world is that kidnapping?
You're encouraging your kids to run away?
No, you guys didn't play the evidence. That's bull.
Put the damn thing up. I'm calling bull on your bull.
The one day you had them, you were drunk.
You are a liar.
The best gift you can give your daughters.
Get them the hell out of her house.
You need to stop being a know-it-all.
That's tomorrow.
Stay tuned. Believe me, you will not want to miss this. Log on to drphil.com and share your thoughts on our message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow.
On an all-new Dr. Phil.
Daniel's facing contempt charges for kidnapping our daughters.
They ran away. How in the world is that kidnapping?
You're encouraging your kids to run away?
No, you guys didn't play the evidence. That's bull.
Put the damn thing up. I'm calling bull on your bull.
The one day you had them, you were drunk.
You are a liar.
The best gift you can give your daughters.
Get them the hell out of her house.
You need to stop being a know-it-all. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, yesterday I sat down with Robin, who claimed her ex-husband Daniel kidnapped their two daughters, Danny and Zoe, even though she still has full custody. But Daniel denied he did anything wrong and claimed he was just protecting his children from Robin, who he called evil. Take a look.
Even though I have full legal custody of our girls, my ex-husband Daniel and I have fought over their custody for years.
We've been in our court so many times, I couldn't even begin to count. My oldest daughter, Danny, was so upset, she actually told the police that she'd rather go to a foster home and that she won't stay with her mom.
My ex-husband Daniel kidnapped my daughters. I haven't seen either of my daughters in over a month. My fear is I will never see them again.
Robin, you want these children back.
Yes, I want my children back.
Why are they not with you then?
Because he kidnapped them last March. He got on Facebook and talked Danny into running away.
You can walk out with Zoe anytime and tell me what corner you're on, and I'll come pick you up. Have you talked to him about this?
No, because he's extremely, extremely abusive.
You're concerned about what's happening when they're with him.
Yes, I'm scared for their safety.
You believe that he has showed them inappropriate videos.
Horrific, pornographic videos.
Robin considers that he is brainwashing these children.
He has made me out to be some sort of monster.
I love my daughters. That is not brainwashing. She is nuts.
Is there anything in particular that she said that you want to respond to?
She wants to tell you that I'm the one that has shaped them and that I am the one who has somehow brainwashed them.
Do you breathe through your ear? You gotta take a breath sometime here. She says you have beaten her physically on a regular basis.
Completely fictitious. I have
So
never
you have
laid
the
a
opportunity
harmful
to
handle
respond
on a
to that.
woman in my life.
You've not beaten your wife.
Including her, even though I don't quite consider her a woman anymore.
Okay. You do admit that you emotionally and verbally abuse her.
I do.
Well, you've done it since you've been out here.
She just said.
Here's a comment that you made on Robin's Facebook page, Daniel. Oh my God, what is that hideous beast between my two beautiful girls? Take a clue, Robin. They don't want to live with you because you're a terrible mother.
You notice the finger dubbed out there on that screen? That's my oldest daughter flipping her mom off.
Do me a favor. Talk to me. This is not an election and they don't vote. You seem to take great pride in that your daughter is flipping off their mother.
For them to stand up to this beast you see in front of you, yeah, I'm very, very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them.
You think that's appropriate behavior for a 14-year-old with her mother?
She sits in her house drunk every day. That's what she does. That's her life.
How do you know what I do in my house?
Why'd you marry her?
She needed a place to stay. I had a chance to be a hero, man. That's what it was about. I was a knight in shining armor, man. She was a good-looking young lady who needed help.
Have you had restraining orders filed against you by other women?
She's filed 8 against me.
Have you had restraining orders
not
filed against you by other women?
A liar.
When we did the pre-interview with you, you said that you wish she would be dead.
No, that's not what I said.
So you didn't say that. I'm just trying to get an answer to a simple question as whether or not you said if your children's mother passed away, things would be better. So you did say that.
I didn't say I wish she was dead.
We record our pre-interviews. Here's what you said.
Between you and me, if you like passed away, my life would be better. You know what I mean? No tears here.
That doesn't mean I wish she's dead.
Your children's mother. Daniel says he's concerned about the safety of these children with you. Do you have a drinking problem?
In 2013, I was raped and I found that I was dealing with it wrong and I started drinking way too much.
Zoe just came back because you were drunk off your butt. That one day you had him. That one day the police removed the kids.
I didn't drink that day.
She ran away because you were drunk and passed out.
You are a liar.
They ran down the road. I get a call at 2 in the morning. I'm driving down this freaking road and I hear screaming somewhere. I panic. I don't find my kids. And by now it's 2:30 in the morning, right? I dial 911. My kids are out here somewhere.
Okay, stop.
The one day you had them, you were drunk.
Stop.
The one day in a year and a half, you got drunk.
Stop talking.
We'll talk to the kids.
They will.
Do you have a drinking problem?
I started over drinking in 2013. I was dealing with that issue wrong, and I went in. I did not get in trouble. I noticed it myself, and I went in and I said, I need help. I need treatment. And I had to fight for a year and find, because they kept saying you don't have a problem, you don't need treatment. And I'm like, I assure you, I'm drinking too much. And I went to treatment. And he found out I was in treatment, and he harassed me on a daily basis with the cops, calling me. If I had an alcohol problem, wouldn't you want me in treatment? Isn't that where I should be?
I wish you never got out, because you shouldn't be out. You should still be in there until you stop doing drugs and drinking.
And why were you harassing me? You should have left me there. Okay. I graduated.
Well, because
listen,
you're not my problem. They have left you.
Stop,
they don't want to be with you anymore.
Stop. Did you have someone living in your house?
Pedophiles.
That was a sex offender.
I was dating a guy, and I did find out he was a registered sex offender.
After I got him arrested, because I found out the moment I saw him.
He was very, how can I tell? I didn't know I had to worry about you.
That's the thing, you're so
I
disabled.
found out about this, and he was very abusive. Okay, so what I had to do, because I was afraid if I tried to, like, end it right there, he would break in and hurt us because he was very violent. So I had to send for a friend to come and move in with me. Okay?
Another boy.
So,
another boy.
It wasn't a boy. Anyway, she came and stayed with me for months so that he couldn't hurt me and so I could get him out of our lives. People don't come up and say, hi, I'm a sex offender. That's not how you meet them. That's something you find out later and you're like, oh, why didn't I know this?
Okay, now this is a classic example. If you're a good parent, your smarm alert goes off, man. You don't have to, like, poke up there, you know, get on the computer. When you see one of these creeps, man, and you're a good parent, you're like, kids, get away from that.
No good parents, kids
right?
abuse.
I mean, is there any parents in here? You know what I'm saying? To me, it was so obvious. I went straight in, you know, I found out a name, and
yeah, I've got one of those alerts.
It pops up on the first page.
After the police report of November 18, 2012, in which her oldest daughter referred to an unsafe gentleman in the house, we learned that Robin previously lived with a convicted sex offender who was warned of being late to register with the state of South Dakota. So we researched and found that violation to register is a Class 6 felony, and every person charged is required to register in their own state in case he was charged with a sexual misconduct in the 3rd degree, and have to do it every 6 months. Now, this person was charged with 3rd degree.
I assume I don't know anything about the case. I found out about it.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
He was charged in May of '99. He was charged again in April of 2010. Oof. He's had 2 different unrelated cases.
That's when he lived with you.
Both 3rd degree. Both involve sex with underage girls.
Wow. No, I heard about one, and that's when I got to get this guy out of here.
Maybe that's where the fantasies about me being a pedophile is coming in.
No.
Maybe you got your little, your sensors got crossed. You're like, oh, it can't be my boyfriend. It's got to be their dad.
Really? Because I don't think my kids have been
no, your sensors are screwed up or something.
Yeah, they are. I ended up with you. I'm sorry I don't have this sex offender alert. I don't want to run around looking at small children. It offends me when people do. I don't know that people think like that. I don't run around and think.
And that's why you're a dangerous parent, Robin.
Did you show your children a pornographic tape suggesting their mother was in it?
I was polite enough to warn her that she was filmed.
I was not filmed. I've never done that.
She made it all up.
I've never done that.
And later, you want to have a long-term good relationship with your children, right?
It's too late for her to stop that now. We are bound, man. We are so tight. We're inseparable now.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexic and bulimic.
2 beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's tomorrow.
In just a few weeks, Daniel and I will be in court. Daniel's facing contempt of court charges for kidnapping our daughters.
I've actually started the process of filing for full custody of my daughters. They need me in their life, in the stability of my family. They need a parent with a level head. If they were forced to live with their mother, we would have some very angry teenage kids. I have no doubt in my mind that with my children's testimony, I will end up with full custody. I can feel it right here. My kids know it. We're going to win.
If Daniel thinks he will be awarded full custody of our daughters, he's dead wrong.
He drinks, and so all you're thinking about is
Did you show your children a pornographic tape suggesting their mother was in it?
It's completely insane. There's a little fragment. There's a fragment of truth in what she's saying, and here's what really happened. Okay, this is from the mind of somebody, a neurotic, a disabled person, to reality. I gave her a call because I got a suspicious email that said, you got to see this, Dan. I poke it open. It's on the freaking internet. So I call her and I said, Robin, you got to see this. You got to get this down.
okay?
This is not what happened
And
at
she's
all.
like, that's not me, that's not... But I know what my ex-wife looks
But
and
your
sounds,
kids
and I saw a
don't?
clear view of her face,
They
okay?
don't know what their mother
This
looks like?
happened. She's been playing this fantasy that I am gonna, like, do this to the kids and to turn them on her. Who would want their kids to see their mom doing that?
Yeah, why would you show them that and say it was
Do you
your
see,
mom?
this
It's
is why
not
she's
me.
an unfit
I've
parent.
never had
For her
sex
to
with
think
anything
that I could possibly
animalistic.
show my kids something like that, it defines your insanity. It defines
Why would your daughter come
mental
home
illness, Robin.
on Christmas and call for a 911
because she
safety
made
check?
all this up.
Okay, did your daughter call?
And then when the CPS
Did your daughter
came,
call for a
there
safety
was no
check?
such thing. The rest is all in your mind.
Really?
Okay,
You admitted it to
hold it.
CPS.
Talk to me. Talk to me for a minute.
I was polite
Talk
enough
to
to
me for a
warn
minute.
her that she was filmed.
I was
and
not
the rest
filmed.
she
I've
made
never
up.
done that.
She
I've
made it all
never
up.
done that.
Did
You
your
tried
daughter
to
make a safety check call?
What?
Did your daughter make a safety check call?
What do you? I don't understand what safety check. I don't know what that means.
Did your daughter call 911 on this night that she came home, concerned that her sister was still there?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, are you talking with pedophilia or something?
I'm talking
there
about
has
this
never
videotape.
been
I'm talking about this
anything-
videotape.
Videotape.
I'm talking about the tape.
That's not the tape. That's the internet.
I'm talking.
But, I mean, you can't take it. There's no tape. It's on the freaking web, man.
Okay.
Right?
It's a tape on the web. It's a video on the web.
Okay, what about
Did your daughter go home to her mother and call 911?
No,
about that
my
tape?
kids know nothing about this. Well, till now. Holy crap. Oh, my God. Now they know about it. Okay. So, yeah, now they're sitting backstage hearing all this stuff.
No, they're not watching this. I don't involve children in
You
adult
brought it up.
issues, unlike some people.
If you show somebody like that to your kids, you bring it up. You call them up.
Well, let me ask you something. You sent in a tape to me, and something stood out about this tape. We asked guests if they're going to be on the show to just send me a brief tape so I can kind of get to know a little bit about you and that sort of thing. And so I'd like to play that tape for just a second.
Hi. This is my family. This is my daughter, Danny Rose. Zoe, please, your face in here. This is Zoe May. Anyhow, we're responding to a Dr. Phil inquiry by phone by Mr. Dan this morning. Danny. It's regarding my ex-wife and my custody battle. It's been raging since before my oldest was born, actually.
Okay, stop that. Okay, now, this goes on for like 2 minutes. Tell me why you would think it's appropriate to be discussing an adult issue of a raging custody battle going on, first involving your children, letting them hear about this, and actually using them as props in the video. Why would a parent do that
They ordered
with their
us
children?
that they had to be in the video. They said they have to be in the video. When this is an introduction to the Phil Show. In order for us to get on the Phil Show, we had to send this.
No, let me tell you, nobody from the Dr. Phil Show, nobody from the Dr. Phil Show told you you needed to discuss adult issues in front of your children.
Oh, you're talking about what just happened just now. She accused me of something that's disgusting, and you know, it came up that she's doing this. What do you have to say? I'm telling you the truth. That's the sad thing. It makes these allegations. This is why the kids don't want to be around her. This isn't the first time. This has been going on for 14 years. It's only now that they can tell you. Now they can talk. They're not locked in a room. They're not locked. And she takes the phones and she hides from them.
I buy their phones.
She
Why do they
won't
have
let them
cell
ever
phones?
call me. She won't let them call the police. That's why Zoe won't go to you, because she knows you're going to lock her up and she'll never be able to leave.
How do you lock up children? What do you mean? Where am I
We'll
locking
ask
them?
the kids,
It's
okay,
a house. We live in a house. There's no locks on the door except the front and the back.
Then why did you leave beautiful Oregon and go to South Dakota? Because she's
on
hiding the
80
kids.
acres.
That's why.
A
Because they love
four-bedroom
me.
house
And
on
they
80
wanted to live
acres.
with me. And I was still fighting custody battles. And she didn't want to fight anymore. So she took them and she ran and she hid. But I found them. They say, I would rather go to a foster home than be with my mom. Come on. How in the world is that kidnapping?
Man, are you going to get a shock of your life? Oh, man. And later,
I'm excited to sit down and tell my mom why I hate her and why I want her out of my life. I think it's going to be fun.
did you send a message to your daughter on Facebook about running away?
Oh, that's why you didn't put that thing up. I talked with one of your staff. I was under the impression you were going to use that evidence when she was 10 years old and she jumped out of the car, ran from her mom as an example to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they've been running away for 4 years. This is nothing new.
Go in and make them report anything you want.
Did you send her a Facebook message?
That was all true. That message is exactly freaking true. You're okay. You're
Do you think that's appropriate?
Grants Pass 2 in the morning. There's creeps out there. They would rather take their chances on the street.
Will you please not interrupt me, because I'm asking him a very important question that you really want to hear the answer to. Trust me.
Okay.
Did you send a message to your daughter on Facebook about running away?
Oh, she's been talking about running away for ages. And I told you, I'm shocked you don't have that police report up here. It's a 4-year-old police report when she first started running away.
When you get through telling me about that, I'm still going to ask you the question.
I said yes, that Facebook was me. Was her saying, Dad, I'm about to become a runaway. And me saying, well, you need to get to a phone. You can't just run down, in the middle of nowhere. You need to know where you are. It has to be safe. And I told her, find a phone. If you can't get a hold of me, call the police. This plan has been existing for 4 years, man. The only reason Danny stayed with her as long as she did was because she's worried about her little sister who was only 8. Okay? That's the only reason she still has him is because big sister is protecting little sister. That's what is the truth.
Do you want a good relationship with your children? You want to have a long-term good relationship with your children, right?
It's too late for her to stop that now. We are bound, man. We are so tight. We're inseparable now. She made sure that there's nothing that could come between us.
If I'm sure of that, I should be a good parent.
Just let me tell you.
If I'm teaching them to love you,
if you're willing to sacrifice your own children to accomplish that, hey, you go,
if I teach them to love you, that's sacrificing.
You have done nothing but told them that I'm a horrible demon pedophile
I don't talk about you.
child. Oh.
I do not even talk about you.
Like they don't come home telling me.
Okay, stop. Listen, I'm so not going to listen to any more of this bickering back and forth. I think you really think you've got this situation all knowed up, and let me tell you something. You're getting ready for a really shocking and rude awakening when you walk into that courtroom, my friend. You are in violation of a court order.
Been there, done that, not worried about it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I've been through 30 court cases with her.
Okay.
Lost everyone.
Nobody's going to help her anymore. Not the police, not the FBI, not the courts, man. Why do you think she's getting desperate? She's like,
the courts just gave them back to me less than a month ago. That sounded like help.
You kidnapped them.
So you think that you can just violate a court order?
Oh, no.
Alienate these children from their mother, and go in and just thumb your nose at the court and then tell them kiss your ass. You ain't worried about it a bit.
I have an attorney, okay? I have children who are above the age of 12 who are testifying in court.
Has your attorney told you this is a good plan?
Oh yeah. And none of us could do anything until we're in Oregon for 6 months.
I've already served you with custody papers.
Okay.
No, that's not a custody paper.
Your attorney,
trying to get me for contempt.
Your attorney told you.
No, listen. Slap on the hand.
So your attorney told you that you can violate a court order and be in contempt of court and don't worry about it.
No.
That's what your attorney told you.
Your misunderstanding is, here's what the police say.
Oh, I'm misunderstanding.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. You can't. If a child won't stay in the house with an adult because they don't feel safe, that means she has to chain them and rope them in the basement somewhere, which is really kidnapping. Okay, so explain to me how, if a child says, we're not staying with her, she's dangerous, she's a drunk and she's a drug addict, and they run from mom and they say, I would rather go to a foster home than be with my mom. Come on. How in the world is that kidnapping? What do you think there's a judge that's going to go, well, too bad, chain him to the basement in mom's house? Come on, really, be realistic. Why didn't it happen last time? Okay, you never let me finish the story.
Man, are you going to get a shock of your life? Oh, man. I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to help you here. Okay, Robin and Daniel's 14-year-old daughter, Danny, has something to say. We're going to hear from her when we come back.
I feel like I'm caught in the middle. It's an awful lot for a 12-year-old to deal with.
My daughter's been so negatively affected by this custody battle.
Danny is so full of hate when she's around her mom. I'm a martial artist, and I've been teaching my kids kung fu, and Danny is really, really wanting to kick her mom in the face.
Zoe's so quiet and shut down. She holds everything inside.
Zoe is scared to go back to her mom's because mom won't let her call me.
I feel like the mental and emotional abuse that Daniel has done is permanently affecting our daughters.
If my kids have side effects from all this, I blame Robin 100% for any character defects.
Well, that was just Robin and Daniel talking about the one thing they can agree upon, that their custody battle has negatively affected their kids, and yet they both keep on fighting. Now, Robin believes her ex-husband kidnapped their children, but both 14-year-old Danny and 12-year-old Zoe claim they want to continue living with their father. Take a look.
When I think about my mom, I feel mad. I hate my mom very much. I wish she could kind of go into cardiac arrest. I would like my mom to never come near me again. My sister Zoe still wants to be around my mom for some reason.
I love both of my parents. I want to be with my mom, but I also want to spend time with my dad. But the problem is my mom doesn't want me to be around my dad. I feel like I'm caught in the middle. It's an awful lot for a 12-year-old to deal with.
Dad has not brainwashed us at all. My mom says terrible things about my dad. Most of them aren't even true. She'll talk about how abusive he is, or she's the reason he started drinking.
My parents, they tell me almost everything about when they were married.
My dad did not kidnap us. We left. My mom doesn't get that I need to have positive people in my life. My dad and I have a really great relationship, like best friends. What my mom really needs to know is she should just stop trying. All she's doing is causing problems and making me hate her even more. I'm just wishing she would step out of my life for like ever. I'm excited to sit down and tell my mom why I hate her and why I want her out of my life. I think it's gonna be fun.
What do you think about that?
It's painful. It's horrible. I mean, you really screwed up, man. You know, this is what happens when you stab people in the back and you lie and you cheat and you steal and you accuse pedophilia.
I've raised 3 other children that do not.
You will never see their grandkids because they're afraid of you. That's what's going to happen. You always talked about, well, we're grandkids.
They will escape you.
They're afraid of you, Robin.
No, they aren't.
Yes, you hurt Papa. Before he died, you accused him of molesting him.
Never
you
done
accused
that.
me
never
of molesting him.
Have I done that.
Oh,
never
he's dead.
had
He can't defend himself now.
I've never accused your father of everything. I went to your father for help.
I'd like to introduce and include family law attorney and children's rights advocate Areva Martin into this conversation. Areva, would you join us up here, please? Areva, thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Areva, have you met Daniel?
I've not. Hi,
okay,
Daniel.
This is Areva Martin.
I see you behind the stage, backstage.
Areva is a children's rights advocate, very passionate one. She's a graduate of Harvard Law School and is a dear friend of mine and of the show here, and knows a lot about all of this.
I had one for 2 years that she sicked on me, appeared in court in the original custody battle, and she said, I'm the only fit parent.
You know, this is a really good time for you to listen. Here, put it up. Put the damn thing up. Okay, here we go. I jumped out of the car and talked to the woman in the station. I jumped out again. You know, I said twice, so obviously I did my homework, right? So I'm calling book on your book.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We're identical twins. We're both anorexic and bulimic.
Two beautiful sisters.
He's called them vagabond, skeleton.
I didn't realize that you ate that much and threw it up.
Because they're not a part of my life.
A family in crisis.
We want money for all of this. That's what you said to my staff. You need to become part of the solution or we're done.
That's tomorrow.
I believe, having been trained both as a clinical psychologist and then doing a postdoctoral fellowship in forensic psychology and having worked in the court system, I really believe that young girls having a healthy relationship with their father is really critical for their development. I think it's really important if they have the love of their father and the confidence of their father, then they're not vulnerable to a bunch of boys coming along and buddying up to them, because they've got a man in their life that thinks they're really special and hung the moon, and you can talk to them about boys and what to watch for and, you know, how not to get played by boys and that sort of thing. So it's really important to me that you have a healthy and long-term relationship with your girls, and I want you to be in their life every day going forward. And I don't think you could screw that up anymore if you set out to do it. And I know that you have this kind of know-it-all attitude about how you have this all figured out, and apparently...
No, it's not like that.
And apparently...
It's blind faith.
You talk as though you have some lawyer that's telling you that you're taking a wise course here, but you seem to take pride in winning some contest where your daughters are choosing you over their mother. And you have the current residential custodial right to your children that you haven't exercised. And I don't understand that. If you two came into court and the judge appointed me as a forensic psychologist to evaluate this situation, it's not a contest between which is the most fit parent. It is evaluating against an objective standard whether either parent is fit.
It is. I totally agree with that.
And I have to tell you, I don't know that I would give either one of you very high marks at this point. And, you know, first off, you wouldn't even be a candidate at this point because you are in violation of court orders. You're in contempt. You have disregarded the court's instruction, so you would immediately be, you wouldn't even be a candidate at this point.
No,
I mean, Aretha?
No, I agree with you 100%.
Well, that's why I say you're getting ready to have a rude awakening, because you're getting ready to spin your children off into the system.
Yeah, I don't think he understands. Daniel, you may lose permanent custody of your kids for all time. What you're doing, you're violating the court order. You're encouraging your kids to run away. You are kidnapping your kids. That is a crime.
No. You guys didn't play the evidence. That's bull. Okay? You didn't play the evidence where my kids ran away when she was 10.
It doesn't matter. We did see
You're getting false information based on.
I know you don't want to listen to anyone. I've sat here all day. You won't listen to anyone. You're probably not going to listen to me. So I'll talk to Dr. Phil.
Theatrics. You're not going to play
Dr. Phil, it's very clear. Daniel is likely to lose custody of his kids for all times.
Because you won't play the evidence.
The evidence, and if Robin goes into court, just with the tape of this show, just what we've watched, just the pre-interview for this show, there's enough evidence there for a court to determine he is unfit to have custody of these kids at all. And Robin, I'm sitting here thinking, how come you haven't gone in ex parte? You have the rights to have your kids. You can run into court anytime. You have to wait a month out, 2 months out to go into court. You have an order for your kids.
And I had to go to the courts, and that's when the cops brought them back to me. And I have my lawyer, and she said, it doesn't matter if we do that again before we have a court date in less than a month. And she said, he'll just steal them right back.
We have to stop him.
But don't worry about what he does. You have the legal right to have your kids.
But how do I get him?
You go into court. You go into court.
How are you going to keep him in the house?
And if he keeps kidnapping your kids, you keep filing reports, and you keep doing what you do as a mother to stand up for your kids.
Okay, let me answer a question here.
IQ's just dropped, or do you guys not realize the kids left? It has nothing to do with...
Hang on, let me answer a question that you just asked. What you just said about, oh, this is just theatrics.
I was told you guys were going to play that police report, and you didn't.
What, are you talking about that the children ran away at 10? I'll stipulate that the child ran away at 10.
She jumped out of the car and ran in.
Yes, twice,
she was
actually.
hiding her from me.
Actually, twice. Here, put it up. Put the damn thing up. If that's some magic, put the damn thing up. Okay, here we go. Got it. Here we go. Mom wouldn't let Dad get to us. I jumped out of the car and talked to the woman in the station. When we waited in the car, she tried to leave. I jumped out again. Then Dad showed up. I said twice. So I jumped out of the car, talked to the woman in the station, then I jumped out again. Okay. You know, I said twice. So obviously I did my homework, right? So I'm calling bullshit on your bullshit. No, listen. You need to stop being a know-it-all and hear somebody. I'm trying to help you here. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445 or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. You said, what are you going to do when they keep running away? You're going to chain them up. That's the question you asked me, right?
I'm asking you, what are you going to do?
Okay, now what you need to do is let me answer. What you're going to do is say to your daughters, you're the child, not the parent. You don't decide adult decisions. Your mother and I are going to get together and we are going to make a co-parenting plan. No, listen. You need to hear what I'm saying.
Stack of court documents.
No, you need to listen. Listen to me. You need to stop being a know-it-all and hear somebody. I'm trying to help you here. Because let me tell you, a few months from now, you're going to remember me telling you this, and you're going to say, God, I wish I'd listened to him.
Well, we'll come back on the show if that happens, Dr. Phil. Okay?
You don't need to come back on the show. You need to hear me. The best gift you can give to your daughters
is get them the hell out of her house.
We should call this show bullying because he is so accustomed to bullying everyone. So I come up here to give him some advice. You can't bully me. You've sat here the whole show and you've bullied Robin.
And you're deceived.
And you're sitting here trying to bully me. It won't work. You've tried to bully Dr. Phil. It won't work. You're going to lose your kids.
This woman right here is not prepared to be an active, consistent parent that provides a quality environment for those children. I think she has a problem with alcohol. I think she has a problem with relationships. I think she has a problem asserting herself and her rights with these children. I think she needs a tremendous amount of support, and I don't think she is prepared to be a quality mother that meets the criteria of providing emotional stability, financial stability, the proper kind of supervision for education and medicine, and all of the things that are required and looked at as criteria by the state. I don't think that she is prepared to do those things at this point. I think she needs help in that regard. And I think without that help, I think she would fall short on the objective standards of doing what she needs to do for those children. I think she needs help. This is not something in which you should relish and go, yay! I think that's something that you should say, then you know what? That's what we put on our to-do list, because I recognize that my daughters need their mother in their lives. When your 14-year-old girl sits there on that tape and says, I can't wait to tell my mother how much I hate her, that's going to be so much fun. Let me tell you, something has spun way out of control.
You're looking at it.
Yes, he is.
Don't even respond. Don't respond.
And you know what?
Don't respond.
When that kind of thinking happens, whether you have fostered that, elicited, maintained, or allowed it, you, as a responsible parent, should step up and say, you know what? That is not okay. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. What you two need to do is you two, if you have a brain in your head, you better cancel this hearing. You better get together in a conference room with your lawyers, and you better work out a plan between you, because if you let the government get involved in this, this thing can turn into a show in a hurry. Now, I'm telling you, listen, I've worked in the family court system. You have no idea what those people can do.
We both failed.
You have no idea what those people can do. If you need help, I will get it for you. I will offer Robin help through Gate Lodge at Origins. Now, Gate Lodge at Origins is located in Vero Beach, Florida, and it provides really intimate residential treatment options with strong recovery support services. Now, Gate Lodge offers sophisticated treatment, and they specialize in addiction that helps men and women overcome substance abuse disorders. So I think it's going to be a really good fit. I will get you the therapeutic help. I'm telling you, you don't want to go to court. You don't want to go to court.
Been there 30 times or more.
Yeah, well,
I know the ropes.
You know, Dr. Phil, we've seen a lot of these cases where a judge looks at both parents and decides the best placement is with neither parent.
That's why I said this is against an objective standard. This is against an objective standard, and not either parent here passes. I mean, this, if I was court appointed here, this wouldn't even be a close call. Yeah. It wouldn't even be a close call.
Standard is best interest of these kids, and we're not seeing any conduct here that suggests either.
I'm telling you, you do want to mediate this situation. You do want to mediate this situation, and you need to hear me this. You may think you're winning this popularity contest right now. This is so going to backfire on you.
It doesn't feel like winning at all. You've lost a mom.
This is going to backfire on you so bad you cannot even imagine. And my advice to you is you do not walk up those courtroom steps. My advice to you is you two sit down and mediate this, and you stop being a right fighter and start putting your children's interest ahead of your own. And I do want you to sit down with your girls backstage and talk to them before you leave today. I don't think you should yank the girls today and take them home with you. I don't want to traumatize these girls at this point. But, sit down and talk to them. All right, we have to stop. I want to thank family law attorney and children's rights advocate Areva Martin and all the guests today. I want you to know you've been what a lot of people would call very obnoxious here today. I think you love your girls. I want you to be in their lives, Dan. I really do. So really try to hear what we're saying here, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we'll work on this, okay? We'll see you next time. Areva?
If I could thank Dr. Phil for one thing, it would be for being so accurate.
Dr. Phil is right. We're going to have to mediate and work this out for our children. When I walked in the door to see my daughter, so we ran up and I got to give her a big hug. My daughter, Danny, was very, very nice to me. I can tell she's still working on what she's going through.
When I saw my mom, I felt the urge to kick her face.
When I saw my mom, I was kind of happy because I haven't seen her in a while.
I like to tell her to go away and not come back because she's just annoying.
What I'd like to say to my mom is that I really like being around her, but I also like being around my dad too.
What's important for my daughters to know is I will do whatever it takes to be a good mother to them.
On an all-new Dr. Phil, her family believes she's an unfit mother.
They're threatening to take my children from me if I don't come on this show.
Her boyfriend is homeless.
She's sleeping in my sister's car.
In your driveway?
Yeah.
What, do you just walk by him when you leave the house?
My mom and my sister gang up on me.
You want them to butt out?
Yes.
You're not taking care of your kids.
Because I work 50 hours a week. How many kids have you raised?
My own, none. Of yours, too.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Today, a family wants the answer to a very important question. Is 30-year-old Katie fit to be a mother of her 2 young children? Now, her sister Grace says, definitely not. Not even a close call. She wrote to me because she claims Katie is constantly leaving her 6-year-old daughter at her mom's house and taking her baby boy to her homeless boyfriend Doug's tent to have sex and do drugs. When the baby's father, Doug, is not in the tent, he's living in Katie's van parked out in front of her mom's house. Now, Grace says Katie has always put Doug ahead of her own children. Take a look.
Katie is an irresponsible mother. Katie has been seeing Doug for years. Doug is a worthless, low-life drug addict. Who pays for everything for him?
Katie.
Who drives his butt around?
Katie.
He's a bum. He doesn't have a job. Doug is homeless. He's sleeping in my sister's car.
I wake up here in the back seat, and I normally just climb up to the front.
At one point, Katie and Doug were living in a tent. He got kicked out.
I'm not there because I didn't feel like that was safe for me. If I could stay in Katie's van, that's better.
Katie owns a van, and Doug is living in it, and when Katie is home, the van is parked in the driveway.
Mosquitoes are a bad deal. That's about it.
It's very embarrassing coming home seeing him in the van. When Katie's with Doug in the tent, they smoke weed. Doug has told Katie he loves weed more than her.
I use marijuana in my own medical way.
Katie has 2 kids.
And all kinds of colors and that's
Look at this one. The oldest is a girl and she's 6. The other one is a boy and he just turned 1. Doug is the father of the 1-year-old.
Hi, Daddy. I love you.
Katie has told us they smoke weed around the smallest child.
Hey, baby.
She would take him out of his crib and drive to wherever Doug was sleeping in the tent, and they would stay there all night long. Why would you take a child to a tent? Right now, my mother and I are taking care of both of the children. She's 30 years old. She's made her mistakes, and now she has to pay for them. She has chosen Doug over the kids. It does piss me off. It's not fair. Katie gets to go out and do whatever she wants to do. My mother and I are sitting at home with her children. I do feel like I've raised her children. Both of the children gravitate to me and my mother. We are the moms. Me and my sister fight often. Our fights are normally yelling and screaming. Our fights were about the kids, money, and Doug. I wish Doug would fall off the face of the earth, to be honest. I want Katie to focus on being a mom, and I want us to be a normal family again.
Well, Katie's mom, Tara, says if her daughter doesn't get her act together, she's going to call Child Protective Services and have her children taken away.
I do have a lot of hope for Katie. Katie has dreams of being a nurse. She became a juvenile diabetic when she was 12. She wants to be a diabetes educator. I think she's so capable of doing anything she wants. Katie is smart, she's compassionate, but she is dating Doug, and he is a loser. He has dragged her down into the mud. I call Doug a tick. If people say, what's Katie's boyfriend's name? It's Tick, because he is sucking the energy out of Katie. He can't hold a job, he's homeless, and he relies on her for everything. And he's living in her car. I want to be grandma, but right now I am mom to the kids. I don't want to be. I don't want to get up every morning and get her ready for school. It is exhausting. I'm tired. I don't want to be 82 years old on senior night walking in my walker. And that's what it'll be. I have learned that Katie was stealing money from her own children. I came home from the store one day, and I always put all of my change in the 2 piggy banks. But when I picked it up, there wasn't anything in it. Katie had told me that she had used the money for gas. I think she used it to support Doug. I need for Katie to step up and realize Doug is a loser and be the mom that she can be. I told Katie if she didn't get help, we were going to get custody of the kids.
So she's living with Doug. You say he is a bum, a loser, a lowlife, and worthless.
Pretty much, yeah. That's in a nutshell.
And she's working.
Yep, 2 jobs.
And he's not.
Right, she's supporting him.
If this is the guy she picked, who the hell did she turn down? He's living in her car?
Yeah.
In your driveway?
Yeah.
What, do you just walk by him when you leave the house? He's out there in the car? He's in the car?
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
They pull the car far enough forward that we don't have to see him when we come out the door.
Yeah. And he'll lay down in the back to hide when we don't know that he's there.
Well, she even said to us that when she goes to work, he rides to work with her and sits in the car in the parking lot while she's working.
Her 2 jobs. He'll lay in the car all day when she's having her 2 jobs, yeah.
She leaves at 10 in the morning, has a break in between the jobs, and then comes home around 11 or 12.
So he's in the car all day.
Yeah.
How do you sell that? How do you sell that to somebody? Okay, you go work 2 jobs, I'll wait in the car. Seriously, how does he sell that to her?
She's gotten him several jobs, but he can't keep them.
Because he's on drugs.
He doesn't show up to work, or he's on drugs, or, I mean, you name it.
He said, I can't get a job because I can't pass the drug screen.
Right, he's told Katie he loves weed more than her.
But she still works 2 jobs while he waits in the car.
And she supports him.
Where's the tent?
15, 20 minutes outside of where we live.
I've never seen it.
Well, but there it is.
Yep.
But I see some of my stuff there.
Some of your stuff?
Well, yeah, that tarp, the blue tarp is mine.
Well, there's your tarp. So he sometimes is in this tent.
Yeah, and they take the smallest child sometimes to the tent.
The 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, well, where's the 6-year-old when she takes the 1-year-old to the tent?
With us.
But she takes the 1-year-old and takes him to the tent to be out there.
Yes.
Why have you let this happen one day?
There's no reasoning with Katie, really.
Very manipulative.
How does she make this okay with you? I'm just trying. Look, I'm just looking for some common sense. Well, apparently it is, because it's going on
well, it's
time
not
and
okay.
time
That's
again.
why I came here. That's why I wrote in, like, help. I don't know if there's helping her or if she's just a lost cause. I don't know what to do.
Grace and Tara say they are tired of watching Katie neglect her kids and support her loser boyfriend. But Katie says they're just too judgmental. I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got 2 sides. So we're going to hear from Katie next.
My sister Grace has always been a spoiled little princess. I absolutely think my family is blackmailing me. They're threatening to take my children from me if I don't come on this show. It's the only reason I am here right now.
And later, didn't you tell us that you would like to punch her and her in the throat?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to.
What?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. She slept with a high school student.
You're a teacher sending naked pictures to a 17-year-old boy. You have got to be dumber than a box of rocks.
The student seduced me. He would leave me love notes.
I love the way you smell like pizza. It drives me crazy wanting a piece of the crust.
I also was a waitress.
Oh, so you did smell like pizza.
That's Monday.
Katie does smoke in the car with the youngest. That is secondhand smoke. Katie doesn't have a great relationship with her oldest daughter because she's never home. Katie has yelled and barked at the oldest daughter and called her a brat. The oldest daughter has come to me and cried, saying, "Why does mommy want to spend more time with Doug?" It is heartbreaking to see a 6-year-old cry because they want their mother.
Grace and Tara both agree Katie is a terrible mom. They say Katie spends more time with her loser boyfriend Doug than her own children, and Katie says, look, I'm a good mom, and the only reason that she came to the show today is because she was blackmailed. She said Tara and Grace threatened to take her children away if she didn't come here today. It's the only reason she's here. Take a look.
I feel like my mom and my sister gang up on me every chance they get. I absolutely think my family is blackmailing me. They're threatening to take my children from me if I don't come on this show. It's the only reason I am here right now. My relationship with my sister Grace is pretty much non-existent. We avoid each other at all costs. She's always been a spoiled little princess. It does make my blood boil when I hear that I'm not raising my own children. I never choose my boyfriend over my children. I will take my children to him, but I never choose him over them. I have spent the night in the tent with Doug a few times. I have taken my 1-year-old child up to see Doug, but we didn't intend on spending the night. We just fell asleep and we stayed. I love Doug with all my heart. I do want to be with him forever. I do smoke pot with Doug. Doug lives in my van right now. I am actually sitting in the back of my van, and my van is in my mom's driveway at my mom's house. He did sleep in a tent for about a month and a half in one of his friends' backyards, but he was not allowed there because they got into a fight, and he's not allowed back. I want my family to back off. Let me live my life. Let me raise my kids. Let me be the mom that I can be. I will fight till the day I die for my kids.
Okay, you want them to butt out.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be here talking to me.
Not at all.
Because there's nothing I have to offer you, nothing you need from me. You're fine. You're making good judgments. Your life's going well. There's nothing I can offer you.
I'm working towards a goal. Really?
Yes, really.
Smoking weed with your child in a tent? How is that good?
No.
Okay, you two are outside smoking weed while the youngest is in the tent. That's smart.
There was no her smoking weed all the time.
She already told us, so it's all good.
She's smoked very, very few. She's not what you call a stoner.
I never said she was. I never once said she was.
Since I'm glad you're here. Or you're just here because she's here, right?
She needs some support. She needs some back.
I got this, babe.
No. He can speak. I'm glad you're here. I'm curious. You say she needs some support.
She doesn't have anybody on her side. She doesn't. They don't know what it's like in our shoes.
We don't live in a tent. You're right.
Because I work 50 hours a week, sweetheart.
So you're not taking care of your kids?
Because I work 50 hours a week.
But you choose to work nights so you don't see
She works throughout the day.
Stop. I can't stop working at night until they find a replacement for me. We've already had this conversation several times.
Find a different job.
No.
Why?
I enjoy what I do.
So you enjoy your job more than your kids?
Because you would be with your kids at night.
That's ridiculous, Grace. How many kids have you raised of your own?
My own, none. Of yours, too.
No, you haven't.
Katie, I went down to Texas 3 times.
Are you the same person you were last year?
I think she's better than she was.
Are you the same person you were last year? Are you the same person you were last year? I don't think anybody in this room is the same person they were last year.
And your point?
I am not either. They are judging me on what I've done in the past.
I'm judging
not
what you're doing now.
No, you're not.
Are you saying that you've evolved and you're better than you were last year?
Absolutely.
In what ways have you improved?
Last year, I was only working at night. I didn't have a car. I have $27 I need to pay off before I can start school in January, and that is my goal, is to start nursing school in January.
You're $27 away from nursing school?
Yes.
Okay. And are you two a serious item?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Why aren't you working?
I am going through some mental stuff.
Yeah, what kind of mental stuff how do you diagnose that? What's your thinking?
Overthinking, fear, just not having a focus on what I need to get done.
Are you in therapy? Are you getting help?
I'm not in any of that
Because there are
right
community
now.
mental health centers. There are all types of facilities that offer help based on a sliding scale, based on the ability to pay.
I've not looked too far into that route, so that is kind of more news to me. There's these things that can actually
See, there
really
you
help
go.
you.
That's a good reason to be here today.
It is a good reason.
There you go.
Thank you.
You didn't want to be here today, and trust me, you wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for these children. And I like to give a voice to those who can't speak up for themselves. So whether you want to be here or not is of little concern to me. I'm here on behalf of the kids. So coming up, Katie's family says they have proof of unsafe situations Katie has placed her children in. And because I'm here on their behalf, I want to hear about those things and see if there's two sides to that coin. We'll look at that evidence when we come back. What she wants to do sexually is up to her, but you're afraid the baby's involved.
Why are you taking the kid? Yeah.
How did you get the money for a motel? I'm supporting your kids. I'm supporting you.
Whatever.
And later, as he hit you,
He did.
did he attack you while you were pregnant?
He did, but I didn't know I was pregnant.
And that makes it okay?
My boyfriend Doug has been violent with me in the past. In January of 2015, we were laying in bed. I asked him if he was asleep, and instead of an answer, I got a scream. He had just gotten off a really long shift. I picked up a pillow and a blanket. I went to the couch, and he followed me in there and continued screaming at me. I said, I'll just go sleep in the car. Tried to grab the keys, but he wouldn't let me have them. I hit him in the face, and he pushed me up against the wall and had me there by my throat. He was choking me. He grabbed the keys from me and left. I was terrified for my life. He was arrested the next day. Doug was sentenced for 135 days. He served 9 because I begged the judge to let him out because I found out I was pregnant. I took Doug back.
Well, Grace and Tara claim Doug is a loser who has gone to jail twice for physically assaulting Katie, who he says he's here to emotionally and physically support. They say Katie and Doug shouldn't be together, and if Katie can't get help, she shouldn't have custody of her 2 young children, especially after Grace found some interesting information on Katie's social media.
I logged in to Katie's Facebook after she gave me her password, and I found some messages that were very disturbing and revealing. Katie and Doug were using Facebook to solicit sex. This message is between another guy and Katie. He says, not into 2 guys, only girls. Katie said, laugh out loud, okay. The other guy said, what do you think? Katie said, I don't know, maybe. He said, I'm down wherever, whenever. Tonight would be fun, laugh out loud. Katie said, but where though? And he said, anywhere. Sounds like Katie's asking him to join in sex with her and Doug, and this other guy's not really into that, but he was wanting to have sex with Katie. In this message, it's between Doug and Katie. Katie said, I'm lying in bed with another man. I only have bra and panties on. Will you bring a binky? Doug said, oh, baby, I can't wait to come in and catch you. I brought my pink plaid bra and plaid panties. This message is very disturbing. It's saying that Katie is at a hotel room, possibly, with another man. Apparently, there will be role-playing going on, and that Doug has women's clothes. It's kind of gross. It could mean that the smallest child is in the hotel room with them. That infuriates me. Why are you taking a child with you to have sex with other people? You should be a mother taking care of your children. Katie doesn't know that my mother and I know about all the Facebook messages, but I want her to know that we know.
You're concerned that she's involved in some type of sexual activity that the baby's exposed to.
Right. I am.
That's your concern?
Oh, yeah.
Because she's an adult and what she wants to do sexually is up to her, but
Whatever.
You're afraid the baby's involved.
Why are you taking the kid? Yeah.
Okay. When I said I was laying in bed with another man, I wasn't laying in bed with another man. The baby was laying in bed with me. It was me, the baby, and Doug in the hotel room. There's never been another guy in a hotel room.
Why are you taking him to a hotel room?
Because I wanted to sleep in a bed with my boyfriend.
You have a home.
He can't be there.
Who cares?
You won't let him in there.
No,
so
he's not allowed
I wanted
in
to
my
sleep
house.
in a bed with my boyfriend and our child.
How did you get the money for a motel? I'm supporting your kids. I'm supporting you.
Whatever.
Why do you have women's clothes, first off? Why?
It's not your business.
I don't care if you dress up like Bozo the Clown. What I'm concerned about is the baby.
Do you think we do sexual acts in front of the child?
I don't know.
We don't.
I look at Katie's online dating profile, and it says, description, I'm a mother of a beautiful little girl and an amazing little boy. They are my life. I'm looking for someone that would like to play with my BF and I. Have to be clean. We are 420 friendly. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
It doesn't say that anymore.
Right, because you took it down.
But that's what it did say.
It did say that about a month and a half ago.
After we confronted you about...
No.
Yeah.
What is 420?
Weed.
There were some pictures involved here that I was concerned about as well. This is a blurred, naked derriere with a gold sheet. And here is this baby with the same gold sheet.
There's 2 different days. You see there's July 10th and July 11th. That was probably him in the hotel room while I was at work and the baby was at the babysitter's. And there's nothing going on in the picture with the baby. Completely different day.
I'm really hoping so.
Well, why is the baby there?
Because I don't want him with you.
To raise our child.
Do you remember when he was born and you told me there will never be a day when you love him as much as you love her? You should love them equally. They are both your grandchildren.
But since I've been raising him for the past year...
You haven't been raising him for the last year.
I have too.
You have not. I take him everywhere I go because you told me you didn't want to raise another kid.
And I have been watching him every night, and he has become attached to me, and I'm very attached to him. I love him so much, Katie. I do. I didn't think I would because he was part of Doug. I didn't think I would love him as much, and that was the reason, and you know that.
Then why can't we work as a family and raise this child
Because you hurt her.
Let's take a break. Next, Grace and Tara say they aren't the only ones who know Katie neglects her children. We're going to hear from Katie's ex-husband in a few minutes, but I've got some questions for Doug. We'll be right back. You said you attacked her once because you were too stressed at your job or at a pizza
I put in
place.
40 hours over the weekend. I'm leaving the pizza shop at 3, getting there at 9. So where's my nap at?
Well, Grace and Tara claim Katie has a history of having sex with strange men she meets online. Is that true?
No.
And do you consider your relationship with Doug to be high risk?
No.
Has he hit you?
He did.
Did he attack you while you were pregnant?
He did, but I didn't know I was pregnant.
And that makes it okay?
No.
It
doesn't.
Did he hit you and choke you?
He did.
Did he threaten you because you wouldn't kiss him and said he would hurt himself or you and your child?
He did.
So he not only threatened you, he threatened your child.
He did.
Do you think I was in my right mind when I said these things?
I don't know. I'm asking you because you said I black out sometimes.
I blacked out once.
You said you hit her and choked her and you blacked out. You don't even remember because you blacked out.
Don't remember putting my hands on her until it was said and done.
You said you attacked her once because you were too stressed at your job as a manager at a pizza place.
I put in 40 hours over the weekend. No sleep whatsoever. I'm leaving the pizza shop at 3, getting there at 9. When you get off work, doesn't it take a couple hours to kind of wind down? Then it takes a couple hours to get ready for work. So where's my nap at?
Are you defending your actions?
I'm not defending the actions. The actions were wrong, and I can't be more sorry about it. And I can't say sorry enough for it.
Because it sounds to me like you're saying, hey, what do you expect? I was stressed out.
It was just a situation that I had no real control over.
Well, if you don't have control over it, then you shouldn't be around this woman and child.
This was a year ago. I went through anger management. I've sat in jail for 90 days.
You've gotten your anger under control.
I've got it more under control now than I ever have. I am homeless.
Good morning, Daddy.
Hi, Bubba. For the last month and a half, I was living in a tent in my friend's backyard. I'm not now. I have abused marijuana. I use marijuana in my own medical way. I can't get a job right now because I have marijuana in my system. Everywhere that I want to apply for requires to have clean pee. I don't really receive money. Katie helps me out when she can. I don't want to speak to Grace because I literally can't stand her. She will judge me and has judged me since the day she's met me. She chased me down the street screaming that I'm a homeless hobo that doesn't have a job and is never going to be a great father to any of my kids. I told her to not speak to me, don't touch me, get out of my face. I'm leaving the situation. She grabbed my shoulder. I told her, get out of my face, you stupid. She's a materialistic. She really is.
Didn't you tell us, and I quote, that you would like to punch her and her in the throat?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to, but I'm not going to put that way there. I'm not going to put that in action.
How do I know you put it in action with her?
You said she is the and you would like to punch her in the throat.
Yes, I've said it.
And you wonder why I won't let you into my house? Why I don't want you around the baby?
I've never been liked ever since you put eyes on me.
You think she shouldn't help raise
Why can't she just be a mother and a grandmother and help out?
She is be a grandmother because I'm a mother. I'm raising your child.
I'll take the kids and I'll go live in the van. Better?
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. She slept with a high school student.
You're a teacher sending naked pictures to a 17-year-old boy. You have got to be dumber than a box of rocks.
The student seduced me. He would leave me love notes.
I love the way you smell like pizza. It drives me crazy wanting a piece of the crust.
I also was a waitress.
Oh, so you did smell like pizza.
That's Monday.
You said, I think that Grace is and Tara should help raise my son.
I've never said she should.
Yeah, well, maybe you misspoke.
We should be a team. Why can't we be a team?
So you do think she should help raise your son?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
You think she shouldn't help raise your son?
Why can't she just be a mother and a grandmother and help out?
She is be a grandmother because I'm a mother. I'm raising your child.
How about I fix this right now? I'll take the kids and I'll go live in the van. Better?
Well, then that's fine if that's what you want to do, because I know Ray will call Children's Services, and so will I. We will get custody of the baby.
Well, joining us on Polycom is Katie's ex-husband, Ray, who you just referenced, who claims Katie used to invite strange men into their home while their daughter was there. Ray, thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Ray, you've been listening to everything that's been going on. So tell us what your take on this is and how you feel about the safety and welfare of the daughter that you have with Katie.
It's a disaster, really. I've had issues with her crying to me, asking the same question she asked Grace, as far as why does Mom spend more time with Doug than I do? She's come to me crying, thinking that there's nobody at home at the house. She says Mom's left her, and she doesn't know where she's at or where she's coming back.
I've never left her.
Left her there alone?
Well, she believes she was left there alone.
Uh-huh.
She's sick.
Obviously, she has Tara and Grace. They're still in the house, but obviously that's not who she was looking for.
What's your intention with regard to custody here?
Well, we had made an agreement that she would talk to you, get your opinion, and if she did not, we would move forward, and I would file for custody 100%.
So you want to see what happened to make you feel that you don't need to move for full custody here?
If she will follow her goals and moving forward, if she will become an upstanding mother and get through college, get that job that she's always talked about wanting, that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see her spending more time with the kids and not leaving them behind with Grace or Tara. I really would like to see her be the mother that she can be.
Okay, well, I want you to stay with us here. Don't go away. We're going to take a break, and I've got some hard questions here. I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences about what's going to happen or not happen here, because you're saying college can take 4 years, and this child's life is going to take a very distinct direction long before that takes place. So I'm real curious what everybody has to say in response to some very specific questions here. Coming up, Katie offered to give up custody of her daughter before. Is she willing to do that now? I'm going to ask her about that next. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445, or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. Well, Grace and Tara claim Katie's disregard for her own well-being has put her children's lives at risk. I look at this situation, you as a single mother, you're working and generating income, and that's a real plus. You're obviously a very intelligent woman, so you have that going for you. It sounds to me that you're active on drugs that are illegal in the state that you live in. You're involved with a man that went straight to jail on 2 occasions, once for 90 days and once for 9 days, but yet he's still in the presence of the children. He's not working. He's living in your car and waiting for you while you do work. He says he's addicted to an illicit drug. He's living in a tent or a car. I know that the likelihood of abuse with a non-biological male living with a child is 33 times normal.
He is the biological father.
Of one.
Of one.
Not the other.
Correct.
So that is a high-risk factor. And I can tell you that this situation appears to me to be a fairly high-risk situation that requires some change. If you didn't have this support system in your life right now, I would personally call Child Protective Services and tell them that I believe they needed to remove this child from this situation. You have resources here that keep you from losing your children.
Absolutely, I do. And I know that I would not be where I am without either one of them.
Well, what you might want to do is 3 things. You might want to, A, climb down off your high horse, B, stop being so sanctimonious and self-righteous, and C, take that chip off your shoulder and figure out what you can do. Figure out what you can do to give your children the best possible chance to flourish that they can have. And if you want to be in this equation, then you need to get yourself straightened up. You're unemployed, living in a car, and violent. That, to me, is just pretty much the criteria for kicking your dead ass to the curb. So, if you haven't had help, I'm willing to get you that help. I'm willing to get you that help. I will arrange to get you the help that you need. Stand up, Anthony. Anthony Haskins is our resource director. And to date, we have provided over $29 million in resources for people that have been here. And Anthony, I would like for you to sit down with these folks after the show, and I would like for you to talk to them. I don't know, Doug may need to be directly into rehab. I think we absolutely need family counselors to be brought in here. I think we need to have some type of co-parenting plan to involve Ray here and Katie to make sure that something is happening here where we know there is consistency. I think we need to have these resources employed here so we have a strategy other than hitting each other in the throat. My next guest has a serious health condition that I can totally relate to. Why? Because I have it too. I'll explain after the break. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
My next guest and I have something very serious in common. Type 2 diabetes. I was diagnosed over 25 years ago. 56-year-old Andre just 3 months ago. Now, Andre says he's always been a healthy eater and is very active as a fire department captain. So learning he has type 2 diabetes was, quote, a slap in the face. Take a look.
Division 2 is clear. You have another assignment. I remembered I'd come home from work. My wife said my body appearance had changed. When I went to the hospital, the doctor told me that my blood sugar was much higher than it should be. In July 2016, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Fire department captain speaking. I'm a firefighter, captain, and paramedic. It is a demanding job. In my line of work, we have a mandatory exercise program. I eat a very healthy diet, and I have a strict exercise regime that involves cardio, core work, and yoga.
What did you eat at the firehouse?
My wife, Keisha, she's more strict than I am. I had to change my diet to eat more proteins. I started exercising more than before. I'm concerned about what it would take to fully manage my condition. I want to live, but I have type 2 diabetes for the rest of my life.
Well, Andre is joining me along with Dr. Pamela Kushner, who has spent 2 decades working with people who have diabetes and is also a good friend of mine, so welcome. Glad to have you both here. So, Andre, as an active firefighter, did you ever think in your wildest dreams you would be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes?
Never. As a firefighter, I have to remain physically fit.
I would think so. So what was your initial reaction when you got your diagnosis?
I was stunned. I've always eaten healthy. I exercise. This is impossible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess your mind soon turns to what I got to do. How do I manage this, right?
Correct.
Dr. Kushner, what is Andre's best strategy for his type 2 diabetes?
So first of all, let's recognize the fact that type 2 diabetes is a manageable condition. And one of the other things you need to remember is there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there is no easy fix.
Well, let's talk risk factors.
There are a lot of risk factors for type 2 diabetes, and the ones that I talk about commonly with my patients are not being on a healthy diet, not getting enough regular exercise, smoking, none of which Andre does, race, age, a family history of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. These are some of the risk factors that are commonly seen in type 2 diabetes.
And have you had to make any lifestyle changes?
Yes, sir. I have exercised even more. I eat even healthier. I have to watch my carbohydrate and sugar intake, and it's hard.
Yeah, believe me, I know. I've been at this for over 25 years, and I had to really change the way I ate, because for me it was like feast or famine. Plus, I put together a great support system, and it began with my wife, Robin. She learned what my challenges were and what she could do to help me stick to my treatment plan. And it takes a full treatment team to get the right balance of diet and exercise, and in some situations, medication. So you have to talk to your doctor about what treatment is right for you.
You're exactly right, Dr. Phil. That what's unique about type 2 diabetes is that this condition is really individualized for each patient. And so it's important to work with your doctor to come up with the right treatment goal and plan that is customized just for you. And you are not alone, Andre. There are 28 million Americans that have type 2 diabetes in the United States and 86 million that are at risk for developing it. But what's interesting to me is the fact that the physical barriers are often well recognized, but people really don't realize the psychological barriers that can make it difficult for someone to stay on a treatment plan.
Yeah, and I have a unique perspective on this psychological stuff, and I did the research and understood the condition when I got it. That's why I got inspired, and I partnered with AstraZeneca for what we call the On It movement, to help people with type 2 diabetes create a plan and stick to it. And as part of that movement, I have 6 rules to get on it and stay on a healthy plan. And one is move forward. And what that means is know that the disease is not your fault. And 2 is get educated, because knowledge is power. 3 is build a team to help manage the disease. 4 is you replace bad habits. And then 5, make a plan with the help from your healthcare professional and your treatment team. And then 6, stick with it. I mean, you can really be empowered by your plan.
And I want to emphasize, Dr. Phil, that if you have type 2 diabetes like Dr. Phil, then staying on it really means working with your physician to come up with the best treatment goal and plan that works perfectly for you. And that usually will involve a healthy diet, regular physical activity, and medication.
Okay, you gonna look up this 6-part plan I was talking about?
Yes, sir.
You gonna stick with it?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna check on you.
All right.
All right, hey, thank you so much. Like Andre, take a positive step forward in managing your type 2 diabetes. Now, visit onitmovement.com today. Thank you for being here, Doc.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Origins Behavioral Healthcare. For more information on today's show, be sure to visit drphil.com. We'll see you next time. Andre, thanks so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I love you.
I love you too.
A long-distance romance.
She wants to go and meet this guy, Andres, in Argentina.
Her family believes he's a predator.
You're talking about taking my daughter to a country that is known for human trafficking.
He's the bait.
Right.
It doesn't matter what they say. I'm still gonna go.
Can she trust him with her life?
They think you're trying to lure her down there.
But they have no evidence.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, 18-year-old Maddie says she is madly in love with Andres, a boy she met online. She is ready to give up her studies as a pharmaceutical major at Indiana University and fly to Argentina to start a new life in a foreign country. But Maddie's mother, Tanya, and her father, Troy, say they are terrified their daughter is being groomed by this handsome stranger to be sold as a sex slave. Her family has gone so far as to destroy not one but 2 passports just to keep her in the country. But Maddie says her parents are being ridiculous, and she wants me to convince them that her new love is real. She says she is headed to Argentina to be with the love of her life, and there is nothing they can do to stop her. Take a look.
My 18-year-old daughter, Maddie, recently met a boy online while playing video games, and now she thinks this guy loves her.
I love you.
I love you too. And wants to devote his life to her.
You're wearing lipstick.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Thanks. She wants to go and meet this guy, Andres, and live with him in Argentina, which I think is jeopardizing her life. She could be trapped into human trafficking or sex trafficking. I'm just so scared for her. I mean, what if she dies because she goes there? I think that Andres is just using the computer to lure girls down to Argentina. Argentina has a high rate of human trafficking. I told Maddie that I will do anything and everything to stop you. Maddie doesn't really understand the world. Maddie has always been introverted. Maddie is socially awkward. Maddie's social life is pretty much online. She's so smart, yet she can act so stupid, not wanting to check this out. I believe that Andres is not the person he claims to be. When I Googled Andres and his family, I did not find anything at all. Andres sent Maddie copies of his work ID, his dad's work ID, and his mother's credentials. I have a friend that ran the IDs, and they came up fake.
I'm really excited about meeting you for the first time.
Supposedly, if Maddie goes to Argentina, Andres' parents would support her. Andres' parents are supposedly biochemists. I'm afraid that the only thing I'll ever see after she goes to Argentina is a picture of her dead body when she comes back.
When Tanya is so desperate to keep Maddie from leaving, she sent her to live with her ex-husband, Troy. Now, Troy says he and Tanya may have never agreed about anything during their marriage, but they are both in complete agreement that they will never see Maddie again if she goes to Argentina.
If Madeline goes to Argentina, I believe she could end up being sold to a brothel. I believe she'll be raped by 10 guys. She will be forced to have sex all day against her will. She's worth a whole lot more money as a virgin as opposed to someone who is not. This guy she's communicating with online, I believe he's like the pickup man. He's young, he's a fairly good-looking guy.
That was great.
They have sent her money. Everything that they send her, she will pay back 100-fold in a brothel. She will pay for being in that brothel. Argentina is a hotbed for human trafficking.
I gotta go, though.
Aww. I'm pissed off at the guy in Argentina. I'd like to break my foot off. I offered the fella that she's talking with online a place to stay, and so we could meet him to see if he's legit. He said no because we were going to kill him. It's been one excuse after another. I did tell her, you're not going to Argentina. I have taken her telephone. I wanted to take her tablet. She needs to find her love somewhere else, not online. She's buying it hook, line, and sinker, and he's reeling her in, you know. She goes to Argentina, and she'll be in trouble that none of us can get her out of. I'm pissed off at my daughter. I think she needs to grow a brain.
Okay, so you guys are very concerned, I think, as any parent would be,
Yes.
if their daughter was getting ready to fly halfway around the world to meet with somebody she's never met in the flesh. She's never been in the presence of him, correct?
No.
Correct.
And you think he's part of a human trafficking ring?
I think he's the one that's being paid to actually attract the girls.
Well, we all saw the movie Taken.
Right.
Where there was a good-looking guy at the airport.
Right.
He kind of hooks them in, and then
There they go.
they're gone. You think that's what's going on
Right.
here? He's the bait?
Right.
And why do you think that?
Just because he doesn't have a lot of friends online on his Facebook. He doesn't, a lot of things have, his story has changed a lot about, I mean, he lives in an apartment without his parents. Maddie has said that his parents come like 2 times a week, says he's going to go to college, but he hasn't gone to college.
You know, I don't know what this guy is, and that is what my biggest concern is. And, you know,
well, you were
it's
offered
not
to
like,
put your foot in it.
Well, you know, you're talking about taking my daughter to a country that is known for human trafficking, and the place that she's flying into is considered the hub.
I understand that Andres has told her that after she flew in there, she would have to take a 12-hour bus ride.
That's correct.
To get where he is. Have you talked to the parents?
No.
Maybe asked to talk to them?
I don't speak Spanish, and they only speak Spanish.
What's his attitude towards you? He's afraid of you guys, right?
Right.
He's been invited to our home. You know, I literally invited him to our home. It's one reason after another why he cannot come to the U.S.
Excuse after excuse?
Yes.
You say that Andres is doing this, quote, by the book.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean,
following the pattern?
Yeah, he's following the pattern almost down to the T. And, you know, I'm not an expert on this, but I have spoken with people who are experts. You know, it's one red flag after another. If you've got 15 red flags out of 20 questions, you know, that's a pretty sticky situation.
What are the biggest red flags you've seen? You say his parents say they're biochemists?
Yeah.
And you read that as...
I'm like, how many people have both of their parents as biochemists and have money to throw around? You know, they're always buying him things and letting him send her money and wanting to pay for her flight to Argentina.
Because that's like too good to be true, right?
Right.
So you think that spells drug dealer or...
Right.
Trafficking or something?
Something's going on.
Okay.
The sending her money, that's a big red flag. The paying for her tickets are big red flags.
The bus
You know, the bus ride, and, you know, she ends up missing, and there likely will be no one that ever sees her again that she knows.
You think he's groomed her?
Yes.
Told her what she wanted to hear?
Well, she kind of spilled her guts to him online, you know. Everything, her biggest worries, her biggest fears, she's told him her life story. So he has all the knowledge he needs to know.
You've seen these catfish shows that we do.
Right.
And you're thinking this is that kind of a thing where he represents some fantasy to her, sucks her in. And, okay, well, we need to figure it out. Coming up, Maddie's family says they're certain Maddie will be killed or sold as a sex slave if she travels to Argentina to meet with a guy that she doesn't know. But Maddie says, look, she's in love with her online boyfriend and knows for certain that nothing will happen to her because she trusts him with her life. Maddie's going to join us next. I'm going to ask her how she knows all of this. We'll be right back.
I'm not being catfished. I'm not being scammed. I want my family to back off. It doesn't really matter what they say. I'm still gonna go.
And later, you think this guy is a fake?
I do. I think he wants to make money off of her.
Well, they checked him out with the FBI, right?
Seems suspicious to me.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Danny says his mother-in-law is ruining his marriage.
She is so manipulative.
I hate you. I hate you for taking Nicole, manipulating her into not loving me the way she did.
I don't try to take her away from you.
Yes, you do.
I refuse to cut my mother out of my life to save my marriage.
You're saying I got to make a choice between my husband and my mother? You already made that choice when you said I do.
That's tomorrow.
My daughter Maddie is addicted to the internet.
Madeline is very socially uncomfortable. She can't shoot from the hip. She can't talk on the phone. She has a real problem communicating with people face to face. I'm sorry, but I don't get falling in love with someone you've never even been in the same room with.
I believe this online obsession with Andres is tearing our family apart.
Well, Tanya and Troy are desperate to keep their 18-year-old daughter, Maddie, from going to Argentina to meet a young man whom she's never even met in person. And they believe that he is part of a sex trafficking ring, that he's the bait, he's the front man that gets the young girls there, and then they're swept up into this ring. Maddie says she has done everything to convince her parents that Andres really is her boyfriend. And she thinks her parents are being completely unreasonable.
I spend a lot of time on the internet. I don't have a ton of friends. I met Andres online 14 months ago.
Hey.
I thought he was cute. He was really nice, and it was fun. I liked him, of course, but I didn't want to tell him that. I was too shy. The plan right now is to go and meet him in Argentina, and if things work out, to stay there. My family doesn't believe that Andres is who he says he is. They think that I'm going to go there and get human trafficked. It's ridiculous because he's offered to come here, and I suggested going there because I figured it was a better option.
I think this situation is pretty ridiculous.
My family is really overreacting, and it's causing a lot of chaos. Andres has never asked me for money. He's actually given me money multiple times. I ended up buying him video games because I was like, I want to play this with you. I'm not being catfished. I'm not being scammed. I want my family to back off and let me live because it's my life, not theirs. It should be our decision. They shouldn't be deciding this for me. It doesn't really matter what they say. I'm still going to go.
Okay, Maddie, good to meet you. You disagree with them because you feel like you really know Andres, right?
Yeah.
When did you first connect?
In August of last year.
So you've known him through the internet over a year? Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What do you like about him?
He's really nice. I like his personality a lot.
Yeah.
We play video games together, and we talk all the time.
Why hasn't he come to see you?
He can't get a visa to come.
Well, sure he can. It takes a while, but you can do it.
The U.S. wouldn't let him come because he doesn't have a reason that he would go back other than his family.
Well, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know they wouldn't let him come because he hasn't tried.
He hasn't tried yet.
Yeah. How come you haven't visited him yet?
Because I've been trying to get my passport, but I can't get it. It never came.
What happened to it?
The first time, I'm pretty sure my mom opened the mail and took it. And the second time, I had it delivered to my brother's apartment, and it just didn't show up.
Do this for me. Argue their point of view for me and tell me why she wouldn't want her 18-year-old daughter going halfway around the world to meet up with a guy in a foreign country that she's never met before.
I would just be really worried.
Because?
Because...
Come on, give me a legitimate answer.
She hasn't spoken with his parents or really met them.
And tell me what could go wrong.
I could probably get stuck there.
But you think he's real, and you think his parents are real.
Yeah.
Because you say Andreas sent her his ID.
Yeah.
He sent you his ID and his family's IDs, copies of them?
He sent a picture of his ID and his father's ID and an ID he had when he was younger.
Right. And you've even seen the inside and outside of where he lives? Mm-hmm. Do you think you're up to making this kind of a trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. You traveled out here.
Yeah.
Right. When you got to the airport, did you know how to get an electronic ticket?
I wasn't sure at first because I've never been to an airport.
Have you ever flown? You've never flown anywhere?
Not until here.
This is the first time you've ever been on an airplane?
Yeah.
You didn't know how to go through security?
No, I didn't know.
When you got here to the hotel and they gave you different things like checking in and vouchers and stuff, you didn't know how to do that?
I wasn't really sure how to do that because I'd never been to a hotel like alone.
So you've never been on an airplane, you never flown anywhere, you didn't know how to get your ticket, you didn't know how to go through security, you've never been to a hotel alone.
I know now.
But you're good to go to Argentina.
I wasn't prepared enough to fly there.
But you thought you were.
I wanted to go.
Next, we're going to meet Maddie's grandmother. She recently got into a little online argument with Andres. We'll talk about her concerns next.
I do believe that Andres is an online predator. He has sent her $300. I do believe that Andres was luring her with money. I think they're going to take her and they're going to use her for prostitution. I said, this is not a relationship, Maddie. This is just Skyping over the internet.
And later, we hired an investigator to look into Andreas and his family. Andreas and his parents' IDs, are they real or are they fake?
I feel him kick. I can feel his little feet.
My daughter thinks she's pregnant, and she's not.
She actually thinks her baby's Jesus.
I am pregnant.
And it is Jesus.
You believe this baby's the Son of God?
Yes.
The ultrasound was performed on Haley.
You say, I'm giving birth. You don't believe that.
You are not a lie detector test, and you need to shut it.
Before I met him, my ex-husband was a priest. He had an affair with a massage therapist.
Who's now his wife?
This is the wonderful marriage that I apparently split up, right?
She needs to leave the room.
Your son killed himself with a shotgun.
Peter died under her roof. She doesn't appear to have any recognition of what she's done.
Do you believe that she would want your son to be dead?
Yes.
You sorry son of a bitch!
Let me finish.
You are finished!
My stepdad was a sick pervert. He would have me touch him in the tub.
And your grandmother knew this.
She was fluffing her hair 10 feet away.
I never saw it. You know what you did.
I did not molest you. You are willing to destroy my life.
You have destroyed mine.
Maddie has tried 2 different times to get a passport so she could go to Argentina. Unbeknownst to Maddie, I got her first passport in the mail and it was destroyed. And she never knew. Her second passport was mailed to her brother's apartment and he's going to make sure that she doesn't get it. She does not know that we've all conspired against her to keep her away from Andres. So as long as Maddie is with me, I will prevent her from making it to Argentina.
Well, Tanya and Troy have made it loud and clear to Maddie they do not want her to go to Argentina to be with her 19-year-old online boyfriend, Andres, whom they claim may be a sex trafficker. Now, Maddie's grandmother, Lois, says Maddie lives her life on the computer and cannot be trusted to meet a stranger halfway around the world.
Maddie would rather be on the computer than communicate with her family. When I heard that Maddie was going to go to Argentina instead of going to college, I just about threw a fit. I do feel like Maddie was throwing her life away because she had a bright future. Argentina is a third world country. A lot of people are poor and there's all kinds of human trafficking going down in there, right in the area where she wants to go. I do believe that Andres is an online predator. He has sent her $300. I do believe that Andres was luring her with money. I think they're going to take her and they're going to use her for prostitution. I believe that Andres is a big scam. I said, this is not a relationship, Maddie. This is just Skyping over the internet. That is not a relationship. You never held that guy's hand. He's never give you a kiss. Maddie needs to wake up and join the real world.
Okay, thank you for being here. You're here to protect her, right?
Yes, I am.
Have you been party to this hiding the passports?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Is this out of character for her to all of a sudden want to go to Argentina?
Yes, we just can't believe it, that she would just throw away her future and go down there. And she hasn't even seen Andres before. She has never hugged him, given him a kiss, you know, embraced him.
You think he has bad manners and is kind of rude too, right?
Yes, I believe.
Why?
Because on the Facebook, when we were making comments back and forth, and they said they were in a relationship, I said, you are not in a relationship. You cannot be in a relationship over the internet. I felt like he was threatening me over the internet.
What do you think about that?
He wanted to, like, get to know them and have, like, a good relationship with them, but they wouldn't give him a chance because immediately after they discovered that I was with him,
They wouldn't talk to him. They wouldn't talk to his parents or anyone.
Well, that's only because she was going to just get up and she wanted to sneak away and go to Argentina before we even knew. We found out on her graduation day.
Well, you gave her $500, right?
Right.
As a graduation present? To help her with college?
To help her with college, not to run off and go to Argentina.
What'd you do when you found out about Argentina?
I took it out her account so she couldn't get another passport.
You think this guy is a fake? Okay.
I really do think he's a fake. I think she's an attractive young girl, and I think he wants her down there for sex trafficking.
Well, they checked him out with the FBI, right?
I don't know what they actually did, but they gave me like a letter.
Well, the FBI letter says, "Dear Miss," we blurred the last name, "in reply to your letter of July 30th, information contained in the files of the FBI must be maintained as confidential in accordance with the regulations of the Department of Justice. I can, however, advise you that with regards to the submitted IDs of Blurred, Andreas, and Blurred do not, in fact, correspond with the records within the Argentina database. I hope this will be of some help to you."
She said she mailed them, but then she got it in the email and it seemed suspicious to me.
Was this legitimate?
No.
So y'all stole her passports and faked a letter from the FBI. And you call him dishonest.
We're desperate to try to keep her here.
Well, would you like to meet him?
No.
Well, Andreas actually sent a video to me wanting my help.
Hello, I'm Andres. I'm 19 years old, as you can see. I'm asking Dr. Phil Show to help me to prove to my girlfriend's family that I'm a real person and I'm none of the nasty things they called me. And I would very much thank you if you could help me.
You say you don't want to meet him, but when we come back after the break, I do want to meet Andreas. We'll be right back. Tanya and Troy say they have done everything in their power, including destroying Maddie's passport, at least one, taking away her cell phone, and even threatening to break her feet to stop her from moving to Argentina to be with her online boyfriend. That was a joke. They weren't really going to break her feet. They think that this is a setup. They think that he is involved in sex trafficking. Now, the parents are supposedly both biochemists. They say it's just not realistic. It's not very likely. So Tanya and Troy have refused to talk to Andres. This is the first time that both sides are going to have a chance to talk. So joining us on satellite from Argentina is Andres and his mother, Sylvia. Now, we also have Esther Ermita, a certified Spanish interpreter in the audience who will help us with Sylvia, who only speaks Spanish. So, Andres, I'm here with Maddie and her parents and her grandmother, and we've been talking about you, and her family does not think you are real, but we're seeing you right now, and you certainly appear to be real, and this is your mother sitting next to you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, if you will.
Well, I'm a 19-year-old student. I've studied English pretty extensively on my own at an institution to prepare for international English exam. I've postponed it though to the next year. I'm gonna enroll in college in 2017 in system engineering. And I have to finish high school in the next few months.
Do you understand why Maddie's parents might be nervous about her going halfway around the world to be with someone she's never met in person?
Yeah, it's completely understandable, the concern for her daughter to travel so far for someone she never met in real life.
They think that you might be involved in some kind of criminal enterprise, that you might be involved in sex trafficking or drugs or some other criminal enterprise, and that you're trying to lure her down there?
I've heard a lot of accusations regarding such topics. Sex trafficking. They thought to me that I would put her into prostitution. They also told me that I would sell her. They called me everything non-human that they could. But they have no evidence to support any of this.
Are you in love with Maddie?
Yes, I am in love with Maddie.
If I could speak to your mother for just a minute. Sylvia, how do you feel about these kids getting together?
Silvia, ¿cómo se siente usted que estos jóvenes se junten?
Nada en particular, no sé cómo interpretar la pregunta.
Nothing in particular.
Ningún sentimiento en particular.
Nothing in particular. I don't know how to answer that question. I have no feelings in particular.
What does, ask Sylvia, what do you do for a living, Sylvia?
¿A qué se dedica usted, Silvia?
Soy bioquímica.
I'm biochemist.
And what does Andrea's father do for a living?
¿A qué se dedica el papá de Andrés?
Es bioquímico también, pero más se dedica a la administración.
He's a biochemist as well.
Una empresa de salud y de una clínica.
But he's more dedicated to the administration of the health clinic and the health office.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, is Andreas who he says he is? We're going to be joined by an investigator in Buenos Aires who's uncovered the cold, hard facts about Andreas and his family after the break.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My mother-in-law is so manipulative.
I hate you for taking Nicole.
I'm torn between my husband and my mother.
You're saying I got to make a choice? You already made that choice when you said I do.
That's tomorrow.
Maddie says no one is going to stop her from going to Argentina to be with Andres. She says his family is supportive while hers isn't. Well, we hired an investigator from Argentina to look into Andres and his family. Eileen Viglianco is joining us via Polycom from Buenos Aires. Eileen, we ask you to do some checking into this family because Maddie's family is really, really concerned that this young man is not who he says he is, that in fact he may be involved in a criminal enterprise, that his parents are not biochemists. So let's talk about that. Andreas and his parents' IDs, are they real or are they fake?
We were able to confirm that the national IDs provided do match the names and national IDs numbers that appear on them. So yes, we can say they are real.
Okay, so these are the people they say they are.
Yes, basically that's what we were able to confirm.
All right, and the parents' employment, what do the parents do? Have you been able to confirm that?
Yes, they are both biochemists.
Okay, and they work at a medical center?
Yes, they work at a medical center that provides assistance to a branch of the Argentinian army.
Okay, and Andreas' employment, do you find any employment for Andres?
No, we were not able to confirm any employment activity for Andres. And we were also able to check that, as he just mentioned, he hasn't still graduated from high school.
Okay. Criminal record check. What did you find out about Andres and any criminal activity?
We were not able to link Andres to any criminal activity, such as human trafficking, women trafficking, or drugs.
Okay. And in terms of their residence, do they live where they say they live? And is this a nice part of town, not nice part of town? What's their living arrangement?
Our investigator was able to prove that Andres and his father live at the address they provided. That's the one you're seeing on the picture. They live on the second floor of that apartment in a central, both residential and commercial part of Resistencia. And also we were able to confirm that the mother and Andres' sister live at another building also in the city, in the same city. The parents are still legally married but no longer living together.
Okay. So basically, you found out that these people are who they say they are, doing what they say they do, and they are not involved in any criminal enterprise, certainly not involved in any kind of human trafficking.
You are right. Not that we were able to confirm.
Any questions for the investigator?
To my knowledge, Maddie's always said that he's already graduated high school and that he had applied to college already and dropped out, so there was lies.
Wait a minute. Come on.
I mean,
you got to answer the question
right.
first.
Okay.
You two came here and said that they were going to take your daughter down there, sell her into prostitution, and send her body back in a bag.
We said
and
that
you just found out, that this young man is who he says he is. His parents are biochemists working in a medical center. They live in a nice part of town in very nice residences. Everything they have said in the last 13 months, according to this investigator, was exactly accurate and true.
I think that's great.
It sounds to me the only people lying in this deal are you.
Well, I'm just glad to know the truth about them.
Because you're intercepting her mail and destroying it. You're creating false documents from the FBI. These people are telling the truth, and you guys are the ones that are lying. Doesn't mean I disagree with you about whether she should go or not, but let's just call a spade a damn shovel.
Right.
Next, Maddie's online boyfriend says Maddie tells him everything, but how well do they really know each other? We asked them some important questions. The answers were very revealing. That's coming up, and I ain't about to take her to the airport and put her on a plane to Argentina. We'll be right back. I asked Andres to do something for me. I ask you to do something for me. I've written a book about relationships called Relationship Rescue. I have a test in there called the Partner Awareness Test. That's a test to see how well you really know the partner that you're with, that you have a relationship with. And it asks a lot of things. How do you think you did in answering questions about Andres?
I think I did okay. I know I probably got some of them wrong, but I tried.
Yeah. Andres, how do you think you did in answering questions about Maddie?
I think I do decent / very good.
Yeah. There are different categories of this test, from like really, really good to really, really not good. You two scored in the really, really not good category, which means you really don't know each other very well. The kind of questions that are on the test are, we asked Maddie this question: I know what accomplishments my partner is most proud of. Andrea says, my determination to do things I want. Maddie said, probably getting into a prestigious level of an online video game. We said, I know what my partner's parents would probably say is the thing about my partner that they are most proud of. Andrea said, my English skills. Maddie said, I don't know. So we asked Andreas about Maddie. I can describe the most traumatic event that occurred in my partner's childhood. Andreas said, I don't know. Maddie said, my dad went into a diabetic coma. We asked Andreas, my partner has clearly identified for me what he or she wants in life. Andreas says, I don't know. Maddie said, get to college, get a nice job, career, travel, learn a few languages, go with the flow after college. I'll make up my mind later. So those are just a few examples. Y'all don't really know very much about each other.
We knew some of these answers, we just didn't know what to put on the papers.
All they do is game. They game constantly. That's not life.
Right.
You know, how is he going to know how she is when he hasn't even met her in person and been with her?
Andres, have you flown around very much on airlines?
No, I haven't.
Maddie hasn't either. Until she flew here, she had never been on an airplane. And when she got to the airport, she couldn't quite figure out how to get an electronic ticket issued. She didn't really know how to get through security. When she got to the hotel, she had never done that by herself before, so she didn't really know how to check in. And that's in her own country where everybody speaks her language. Don't you think the gentlemanly thing to do would be for you to come see her instead of asking her with very limited life experience to fly halfway around the world to see you?
Well, let's start. It is travel half around the world for me too if I went there. Then you also have to accept that I'm just 1 year older than her, so the knowledge gap is pretty much the same in some areas. If she came here, I would have the support from my parents and guidance overall. If I were to go there, the parents were completely denying any chance of that happening. He threatened to kick my ass in some other words.
Well, interesting response. We're going to take a break. I asked him about a living plan. Wait until you hear that after the break. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I ask you guys some questions that have to do with a life plan. And the answers were, hell, I don't know. That's pretty much what you said. You said, well, we're going to depend on parents. We don't have any income. I guess we can kind of team up on the chores. And when we disagree, we'll talk about it. Don't have any plans to get married or talk about kids or anything because you're both very young, which I totally get. You don't have a plan because he hasn't graduated from high school yet. You don't have a job. He doesn't have a job. You're going to be living in his bedroom in his parents' house. Here's a picture of the bedroom. That's your house. Can we agree that if Andres came here to visit, that you would treat him with dignity and respect?
Yes.
And that you would welcome him here to meet and spend some time with your daughter and granddaughter? Yeah. And that you could assure him and that you could assure his parents that you would treat him here the way you would want your daughter treated there?
Yes.
Most definitely.
You could do that?
Yes. I've already told him this.
Well, but you were inviting him there under the assumption that he was a known trafficker that was going to murder your daughter.
I was inviting him there because I don't know what he is.
Right, but now you do.
Now I've got a better idea.
Right. Now you do. And would you support him coming here for a visit before you made your move? And Andres, I'm not saying that it's easy, but if we could help facilitate you getting a visa to come visit with her and meet her and meet her family, would you be open to trying to do that before her coming down there?
If I don't have to pay for anything, yeah, I don't mind.
Well, I will buy you a ticket.
Yes, I don't mind. It's a little vacation.
Well, your enthusiasm and passion is underwhelming. And I think that speaks volumes. I want to thank all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can also join the conversation today on Facebook and Twitter. We will see you next time.
If Maddie still wanted to go to Argentina, I would feel scared and nervous just like any mother would when their child's traveling.
Andres, if we could help you get a visa to come visit with her and meet her, would you be open to trying to do that before her coming down there?
If Andres came to America, he would be treated with respect. I wouldn't put my foot unless he had it coming.
If Andres had come here and spent time with our family, I would welcome him and treat him as if, you know, he was part of our family.
If I don't have to pay for anything, yeah, I don't mind.
I'm so confused. I really don't know what to think anymore because he seems like he's a real lazy boy and he doesn't have any ambition. What kind of future would they have? Just living in a house with his parents and rather have her find somebody here and go to school here.
I know Andres is who he says he is. Dr. Phil recommended that he comes here first before anything else happens. I'm excited to actually touch him and hug him for the first time. If things go well between me and Andres here, I plan on going to Argentina. I got the answers that I came for today. Thank you, Dr. Phil.